What's up, everybody? I'd like to welcome all of you guys to another episode of the Smoke Room. We got a lot to talk about today. Um, got a few subjects that are, just things that need to be touched on because WMSCOG's, going crazy right now, and rightfully so. I mean, we're right now we're applying the pressure to them. So hopefully, I'm gonna have a special guest join us here in a second, because you guys won't. But well, I guess you will believe what the WMSCOG is trying to do to him, and all because he's exposing them right now. And there's a lot going on, but I'll let him explain once he joins. I also want to touch on some of the stuff that I posted about a week ago. A lot of these files that a lot of these pictures that members have not seen, but I think it's time to finally explain them, and give some context behind it, and yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff going on, especially with the educations that the World Mission Society Church of God is doing right now. Even recently, um, we posted an audio of one of the leaders of the WMSCOG basically prepping the members for when Zhang dies. And to me, that's very surreal because, you know, how can I say, like, it's not that I'm shocked. I'm not shocked, but I'm shocked at the same time. I'm not shocked because I always believed in my heart that one day this was going to happen, for the simple fact that she's not God. She was going to pass away. Like, once I realized that this whole place was a lie and that it was all fake, then I knew it was only a matter of time before she passed away. But and again, not wishing death upon anybody. It's just that's part of human life. That's what's going to happen to everybody. um but that being said, I think what's shocking to me is, like, even though I knew that that was going to happen, um like, still to see it happening in, like, real time, especially like the gall of these people, because they tell you for years that you know she's going to ascend with you with 144,000 holding hands, and there's new songs that we used to sing about it. And you know there's Bible studies, Mission of Elijah, and just so many different things that come to mind, like the verse in Revelation when Father comes to defend Mother right before the end, um, where he rains down fire from heaven because they surround the city, that the enemy surround the city that God loves, and stuff like that. And to see that you know the church is now preparing for her to actually pass away, to me is just, it's still pretty crazy to me. That being said, we got a special guest in the house. What's up, Adam?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, bro. I can hear you just fine, man. How you been?
Oh, I've been hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit. You know?
I like that, man. A hair and a biscuit, huh?
Yep. You just gotta pluck it out. You know?
Okay, I've never heard that one before, but I think I might have to borrow that one from you. Man, it feels like forever since we've actually talked face to face. Well, through video, but
Yeah.
yeah, man. Happy for everything that's going on with you. See, you've been putting out a lot of content, which leads us to something that you mentioned to me this morning that kind of caught me off guard. So I'll let you go ahead and explain that situation.
Oh, nice segue, Edgar. That was smooth. Yeah. So this morning I woke up to an email, and basically my cultish part 3 was deleted and removed from YouTube, and the reason why was because of a copyright strike. And um,
Bless you.
excuse me. Too bad you can't cut that out in live, Edgar. That's some
Well,
immersion. Some
hey,
immersion right there.
remember, according to World Mission Society, we shouldn't even say "bless you" to somebody when when they sneeze. I don't know if you were ever taught that.
I was. So you should have just cursed me instead of blessed me.
Yeah, they probably like that.
Yeah.
But
Um,
anyway, continue, man.
yeah. So I woke up with a nasty email from YouTube basically saying my cultish part 3 was removed. And the reason it was removed was because they copyright striked me. And the photo that I have, where they copyright striked me, did when you were a unit leader, you remember getting those photos of Zong and An that you put in
Yeah,
your bedroom? Well, I had a photo of like on my counter. I had a photo of basically them on the counter, like those pictures on the counter. Took a picture of
right.
it and used it in my WMSCOG part 3 testimony, whatever, with Cultish, just as a photo. And they
Yeah,
literally copyright striked me for that.
that's
And YouTube's
wild.
like, hey, any more, and you're going to lose your entire channel. So this kind of is what I want to talk about a little bit too, if you don't mind me taking a little bit,
Yeah,
Edgar. Um, this is why it's so important for not just me and Edgar and a handful of other people speaking out. Because if it's only a handful of us and they copyright strike us for these stupid reasons and take down our channels, like if they take down me and Edgar, we need other people to step up. I mean, it's fun. Like, I don't get me wrong. Like every time I see uh, Great Light Studios or I see Diffusing or Cult Audit or Cultish or whatever dropping videos on Whimsicog, I get excited and I'm like, yes, and I just as the next person, I'm just as much a fan of you guys. Then I don't like my own work, to be honest with you. I try to be like you guys as best as I can, but
you do great work, man.
my point is um it shouldn't just be 3 or 4 people doing it, because if they do this kind of crap, which they do, it's going to make it harder to fight. If there was 1,000 finding the alternatives, 1,000 diffusing Whimsicog, 1,000 cold audits, I'd be so happy. um Granted, the Whimsicog real estate isn't very much, it's a small niche, but it doesn't matter about how small it is. It matters that there's 1,000 people speaking up and speaking out. And I'm not just saying you two. I'm saying, like, you have Amy. I think she's on TikTok and Instagram. You have Zykira, who's coming up with her YouTube channel. You have a bunch of other ones that, of course, are really important. I'm not knocking them at all. I'm just saying we need more people. And so, if you were on the fence of, um, doing something about it, speaking out, and I'm not saying doing interviews or anything. I'm saying like you actually doing the content, you going out and interviewing people, you going out and telling your story on your own, having your own channel, your own thing. And if you want me and Edgar to help you promote it and give you subscribers and give you watch time and some exposure, I'd be more than happy to, if you want to hop on the channel. But my whole thing is we need more people speaking out on their own platforms, on their own thing. Because if they can take me out, that's fine. Because at the end of the day, if there's 1,000 of me doing stuff or 1,000 of Edgar, I will sleep perfectly fine. Right?
Facts.
I've been doing this a year and a half at this point, and thankfully it has grown thanks to God. But I'm not retiring with this, right? Like, this isn't my income. It's cost me far more to run this channel than I've made. And I'll be completely transparent. Out of membership so far, I've made like $100, and it's cost me probably $1,000 to run this channel for the past year and a half, just with all the time. I mean, not even time. I'm just saying, uh, recording stuff, cameras, you know, editing software, all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely not about money. It's not about any income, right? So Whimsicog, if you're watching this, guess what? If you delete me and you remove me completely, you're saving me like $100 a month.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of that. But I just the thing that irks me a little bit is just because it does take away my ability to help people. I mean, I can start another channel, it's not a problem. Do I want to? Not necessarily, but I will if I need to. But I hope I don't have to, because I hope that, you know, if they take us down, if tomorrow they take my entire channel down, tomorrow, if they take down diffusing, there needs to be an army of us guys. There really does. And it's me now, but they can't stop all of us. They can try, but they can't stop all of us. And I just want to say to those that are on the fence of jumping in the fight, we need you. And it's not like the WMSCOG that says, "Oh, we need you," but they really don't care about you. It's that we actually do need you, and we're here to back you up. We're in it all together, and I think now is the time. It's because they're basically declaring war,
Yeah.
right? I mean, they're doing this petty stuff, and it's not just me. I mean, apparently, Great Light Studios. This is the same email that got Mike Winger to have to take his videos down. It's the same email that got Jordan from Great Light Studios to have to take his videos down because of a dumb photo. And so it's just something I feel strongly about. So again, if anybody is thinking about it, to speaking out, or doesn't know how to do it, or wants to do it but just doesn't know a certain direction, feel free to reach out to me. I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing per se, but I feel like I've done it long enough, and I feel like Edgar's done it long enough that we can at least give you a good head start. Um, so that's just kind of what I want to say about that. And I just think it's really petty, honestly. WMSCOG, if you're watching this, which you probably are, it's like, how about you talk to us like a man instead of taking all these cheap shots, or a woman? I don't know. It could be a woman. Don't really care. But it's just the time I think you guys can't get any cultier, you completely surprise me. I mean, I've gone to your place of worship to ask for just a conversation, just to work things out, to stop this pettiness. That didn't work. I've asked to meet with you in private, take you out to dinner. Um, like, I make videos, and because really, at the end of the day, what else am I supposed to do? To sit on my hands and just let you hurt people and abuse people and stuff? So I just want to say to WMSCOG members, like, this is your truth. I have a photo of On and Zong that I was given, which I own. I was given that photo. No one ever said, "Hey, you're renting this photo." I was literally given that photo. It's mine, whether I like it or not. It was mine, and that's what they copyright striked me with. So anyway, that's kind of my 2 cents.
Yeah, man. Let me just jump in there real quick because I think that it really shows their true colors. Because as much as they want to, like, give these educations, and we've heard a lot of them. Thankfully we got
Oh yeah,
people in that are sharing with us what's going on, what's being said, and they're making fun of us. They're laughing at us. They're calling us out of our names, but really we see past that, right? I mean, I know I see when I see what's going on there, I see nervous body language, right? And so what they're doing is they're trying to, oh, this is no big deal. And anyone who believes them or even like gives them any, any thought, they're dumb. Like, this is so silly. But yet they're out here camping out, waiting for the smallest thing in order to try to get someone taken down. Look at what they just did to you.
yeah,
If your work was so dumb, so insignificant, it meant nothing, why are they camping out waiting for the smallest chance for you, to try to take you down, to try to take any of us down? That's the problem with the World Mission Society, is what they tell their members is not reality. The reality, World Mission Society Church of God members, is, if you're watching this, things aren't sweet in the World Mission Society right now. Things aren't going very smooth right now. What's actually happening is they're scattering. They're right now, they're trembling, but they're trying to keep a poker face on. And right now they're doing something called damage control that's done in cults. A lot of cults, when people got them on the ropes. And so we see that even right now with what we just heard today, that they're already preparing the members for Zhang's eventual death. And that should already be a red flag in a lot of members' minds, especially people that's been there for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. You remember being told that she would not pass away, that she would ascend alive with 144,000. Why now? Why all of the sudden now, 2026, are they starting to say, oh no, we never said that? Oh, well, even if she does pass away, does that make the Passover not the Passover or the Sabbath not the Sabbath? Why do you think those things are happening? Ask yourself. Use the logical part of your mind and just think for a second. Why would they be doing that unless it's because of the stuff that they say that is not serious, that members shouldn't pay attention to because it's dumb? Is it because the things that we are saying hold weight and they know it damages their doctrine completely? And we're exposing huge holes in their theology. Ask yourself that. Adam, you want to jump in?
Yeah, this subject is actually very near and dear to my heart because this was one of those things back in 2024 that I myself wrestled with. If any of you have heard my story, I mean, I'm not going to go into it right now, obviously, because it's not the point here. But I'll just kind of say this is something my wife asked me because I was seeing red flags, but my cognitive dissonance was still very active. My thought stopping was extremely strong. And for the whole time I was trying to find my way out, I was really trying to find my way back in. Like I was fighting for it to be the truth. I was fighting for it to be real, fighting for it to not be a lie because that was not my interest. And my wife, she said, okay, well, what's your last straw? What is your last straw? Like, what is it that will make you say, WMSCOG, you are a lie. You are a false organization. That is a false God. And in my thinking, I was like, well, I remember them saying and teaching, and we were singing about it, that mother will never die. So if mother dies, then that will be my last straw. And then I will not continue in the WMSCOG. And then I remember we had that conversation. And then if you watch my story, basically what happened, and I'll just summarize it real quick. My wife started seeing those signs. She started seeing the changes in the new songbooks and how people were talking about this. And I remember she sent out a text message, it was like one of those anonymous text messages to all the leaders in Salt Lake City, and basically saying like, "Hey, not to alarm anybody, but I think mother's gonna die, and I think they're preparing for her to die. Here's the reasons why." Just letting people know. And of course, that caused a massive uh, PR damage control situation, and it was anonymous, so nobody actually knew it was my wife for quite a while. And I remember the education that was given that like a week later after that took place, and it was about that very thing. And I remember them saying that in 2024, where they were like, first of all, if somebody asks you, "Is mother gonna die? Are you gonna ascend to heaven alive?" This is how you respond. I believe I will ascend to heaven alive with mother. That's how we respond. But even if, and then that's where me and my wife kind of took a step back. And we're like, even if I heard this sermon years ago about mother ascending alive to heaven, and I said, well, missionary, what happens if she doesn't? What do you think would happen to me?
You would have got
Like, oh, brother,
rebuked.
weak faith. Don't you know who mother is? Don't you know? Don't you know? Don't you know? Right, with the Korean accent. And you know very well that if you would have asked that question, you would have been looked down upon like you're an unbeliever. You have something wrong with you. And so in my head, I was like, what am I hearing right now? Even if there was no even if, it's like, why don't they apply that to any of the other prophecies? Well, even if An Sang Hong didn't fulfill King David's prophecy, he's still God. Even if An Sang Hong fulfilled Melchizedek, or even if An Sang Hong didn't fulfill Melchizedek, he's still God. They don't say that about any other prophecy except this one. And the fact is, I was shocked because I was looking around as the missionary was giving this education, and everybody just stone faced, just amen, amen. And me and my wife are just kind of looking around, just like, what is happening right now? I mean, I was still and I was still trying to fight for this faith that I've been holding on to for so long. And I remember just thinking like, everybody just said amen without even batting an eye. And I was like, even if there is, in the past 10 years I've been here, there was no even if in any capacity for any prophecy because it doesn't make sense. Well, even if An Sung Hong didn't fulfill 37 years, you can't say that. Even if he doesn't fulfill Melchizedek, even if he doesn't fulfill Fig Tree, like it doesn't jive. It doesn't make sense. You can't do that. In the same way, you can't do that with Zhang Gilja not ascending, even if she dies. That's not a thing. That never has been a thing. It never was a thing. And so that was one of those things where I had to basically, up until that point, that was my hope. Like, well, I'm just going to, up until that point, like I was saying, that was my hope. Well, I'm going to stay until mother passes away because if she does, then I'll know it's false. But then that threw a wrench in it because I'm like, they know she's going to pass away. They're preparing for her to pass away. They're trying to lighten the blow when she does pass away. And so that took my hope that I had and just completely destroyed the last thread that I was hanging on to as far as like my last straw that I was banking like in my heart and in my mind. That was my last straw. And so this is a very real thing that you WMSCOG members have to deal with. And it's going to happen sooner or later just because she's old. She's a human. She's not going to I mean, it is what it is. I know you don't want to hear it and I know you think we're wrong, but she's a human just like you and I. She is not God. She's not going to ascend. The 144,000 are not going to ascend like you think. The Bible doesn't even say that. The Bible doesn't even teach about a God the Mother. I made that very clear many times. Edgar has too, many times. And the unfortunate part about all of this, and sorry, Edgar, I'm taking too long. It's
No,
your
no,
deal.
no. Go, bro.
But
Go.
the thing that makes me the most furious is not only that they had the audacity to lie to the members that have served for years and gave everything to this organization and loved that woman with all their heart, who would have died for that woman at any point in time. Not only do they have the audacity to lie to those kind of people like me and you for years, just straight to our face, but the fact that they're not even telling people this that are new coming. They're not, the people that are new in the past 2 or 3 years have no idea this teaching ever existed
Yeah.
because they didn't have the old new songs. They didn't have those old sermons, and from 2015 to like 2019 is when they stopped giving them.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me the most furious is they have no idea about these old prophecies. They have no idea about this old teaching. And so to them, they're just going to understand that mother's going to pass. They're just going to understand it like that when that was never the case. That was the one thing where I was like, dang, this church is pretty bold, right? Like they're going to say this old woman's going to ascend alive with 144,000. Like, shoot, if that doesn't work, if that doesn't happen, this thing's going to crumble. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what I was thinking, even in my mind, like when I first joined, was dang, that's a pretty bold claim. That's a pretty bold statement. Like
Yeah.
if they're willing to back that up and stand by that, like shoot, they got something to prove. But now it's gone. Now they don't like they're not even holding anyone to it. They're not holding anything to that. And it just pisses me off that these newer members are gonna have no idea that that was ever taught. And so they're gonna say, well, they never said that because they never heard it. And so that's what's gonna make it so hard for these newer
Yeah.
members to wake up.
And to your point, I've said this before, the new the new wave of members, like what you're saying, Adam, that this is true in all cults. They experience waves of members. Even when I was in, I remember the wave that I was a part of. I remember the wave before me that was fading out. I remember the wave after me. And you realize in these waves that are going on in these cults that certain things are held back and then certain things are, taught. But that one teaching that, like you said, about her not passing away but ascending, that was not a secretive teaching. Like you said, it was bold. And I think that's important to really highlight that this was something that, as an ex-World Mission Society Church of God member, I was proud of. I was proud to say, I felt boldness and I felt courage when I would say to someone, no, 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 mother's not gonna die. She is going, I'm going to ascend with her as part of 144,000 saints. That is one of the reasons why I strive to be 144,000, because we believe mother was with us. We're going to ascend with her, you know, and like I said, there's multiple verses that they used to use. But right now, I just want to speak to the members directly, those who are watching this, those who are going to watch this. Can you really look at me in the face and tell me that you were not under the impression, you never heard or you never taught that she was going to ascend with 144,000? I remember one of my favorite new songs. I can't remember word for word. It's
205.
been
I think it's
is
205.
205.
Yeah.
Um, so it goes kind of like, it's like the heart of my mother. She cannot go home until she finds all her loving children, the 144,000.
It's 205. It's completely gone.
See, and this is the stuff that I'm talking about. I sang that song. I have the new song books. We sang songs like that at the top of our lungs. We believed we were going to go to heaven alive with her. We used to talk about it in Zion. We used to talk about when World War III breaks out and there's missiles hitting all over the place. Then we will see Mother ascend, and we will go up with her holding hands. On what one last point, then I'll let you take it away, Adam. On Telemundo, tell me if what we are saying to you is a lie. Go on the examining site and look at the news, the news clip that Michelle Colon has posted about Telemundo, which is one of the biggest networks in Spanish, where leaders of the World Mission Society were interviewed by Telemundo, and they were asked, what will happen to God the Mother? What will happen to the church when she passes? They said, she will not pass away. Mother God does not die. What happened then? What changed? Go ahead, Adam.
I just want to follow up on that too. Do you remember it was a special new song? It was only choir sang it, I think. And it was like, Behold, here's the bridegroom. Or it was
Mm,
like, Behold, here's a bridegroom, come out to
yeah,
meet him.
yeah,
Behold. And it's like that. And that whole song is literally about father coming to get mother and us being like either wise or foolish or whatever the case is. Can't sing that anymore. That new song disappeared. And that was one of my favorite songs. I was like, whatever happened to that? But they're like, oh, we just some member fell away because reasons. And so they just removed it. Also, I remember in 6 Day Creation, they're like, we're in the 6th day, right? And what happens after the 6th day? There's nighttime, right? So just before the end, like the 7th day rest, there's the nighttime. What happened to the last nighttime when Jesus was here, right? The church fell into darkness and da da da, right? Because all hell broke loose, literally, according to their teaching. But then I remember it was Pastor Enoch. He came to Salt Lake City and he taught us about the 6th day creation the first time I heard it. And he was like, the reason why we're able to make it through the night and not have what happened with Jesus' time when the night came, the reason we're able to make it through the night on the 6th day is because we have Mother with us. And Mother's going to lead us into the 7th day. That was how he ended it. Mother leads us into the 7th day. And there's so many verses too where it's like you were saying, they don't teach it anymore. They don't talk about it anymore. But everything from 2015 to like 2018, 2019 was about Mother ascending. That's how all the prayers ended. That's how all the sermons ended. And I remember it was me and Deacon Eric. We were preaching one time and he was making a joke. He's like, man, them Koreans, they can live 120 years old. So who knows? Maybe we'll be here another 40 years and Mother's going to be one of those Koreans that lives to 120. So it wasn't just like a random thing. It wasn't a hidden teaching. It was very well known, very well talked about, and everybody talked about it. And it was our hope and dream because we were to be the ornaments on Mother's gowns, right? We were to be the ornaments on Mother's clothing. And when you look at the parable of the 10 virgins, right? They'd say, well, the bridegroom comes to get the bride. He doesn't give a crap about the virgins. He wants to come for his bride. And then, so if we want to go to heaven when the bridegroom comes, let's be close to mother. Yeah, let's be with mother. You know, that's what they taught. We need to be with mother because we can only ascend as a wise virgins with mother, because when father came to pick her up, we were basically held on to her. And same thing with the ornaments, where mother's ornaments that are on her gowns, right? That's how we enter heaven, is through her, etc. And now it's just like, huh, did we teach that? No, I didn't. I don't remember ever hearing that. I mean, whoever told you that taught you wrong, which is ironic because the overseer that's appointed by God the Mother was the one teaching me this. And so if they're appointing people that shouldn't be teaching things, how do you know what they're teaching now is accurate? And how do you know they're not going to change what they're teaching now in 5 years? Like pretty soon, how do you know WMSCOG won't even keep the Passover anymore? They'll be like, oh, we never taught that. We never said that, which they already kind of are with the destruction passing over people physically, right? They're already kind of walking that back a bit. And pretty soon, who knows? Maybe it's going to be just like it went the way of Armstrongism, where they just decided to become normal Christian. They're like, oh, we never taught about God the Mother. What are you talking about? We never taught about Sabbath
And
day or feast or anything like that. What are you talking about? That's slander.
they can never get to that point because they don't have it. In order to get to be a regular church, you first have to admit everything that you've done is wrong. And we've already seen evidence that they're willing to do everything but that. They want to lie and just erase everything, push everything under the rug. Everyone's a liar. But here's the thing: you can call me a liar, you can call Adam a liar, Mitch a liar, Jordan a liar, Michelle a liar, Ron a liar, but you can't call everyone a liar. We've interviewed people from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that's heard the same things. People not just in America, people in Africa, people all over the world, in South America, in Europe, they all heard the same thing. So did everyone just suffer a mass delusion? Or are we sure and positive of what we were told? I 100% believed that I was going to heaven alive with Zangyo Ja. I really believe that in my heart. I remember that. I remember real, like, even to your point when you were saying about the ornaments on her dresses. I remember me and the brothers even joking, saying we're not worthy enough that when that moment happens, I just want to grab onto her dress as she's ascending to heaven. Where did we get those ideas from? Why weren't we rebuked when the overseer would hear us talk about and say things like that? When he would even say things like that? Because this was a teaching of the church. But now, just like everything else, because no one can run out Father Time, and because she is a human being, they're preparing the damage control now. And I just want to say to the members that are watching this, to the new wave of members, I'm sorry that you guys didn't hear this. I hope that you guys look at the evidence and follow it wherever it leads. But to the members that did hear this, don't let them gaslight you, and don't gaslight yourself. I did that. I'm guilty of that. I did that for so many years. Don't do that to yourself. You know what you heard. Don't let them tell you that you didn't hear it. Don't let them tell you to suppress it, to say that you heard wrong. You know what you heard. You probably got notes written down in your notebooks about it. But anyway, Mitch, welcome to the show, man. What's up? I see you've been busy, man.
Hi, how's it going, guys? Yeah, a little busy, thankfully, but there's a lot of stuff that's been coming out, as you know, recently, Edgar, especially with the audio leak, because even me, even though I only came in the very beginning in January 2019, even when out in 2019, it was still taught, yeah, we're sending alive with Heavenly Mother, and
Well, Eddie's the
I
one I
I
learned
look
it from. So,
exactly, and I got something on that. It's pretty interesting. I just remember though, the first time we ripped up the new songbooks. I'm sorry I joined on late, so you guys might have talked about this stuff, but I just remember when we had to turn in the old new song books to get the new ones, and then I was a part of the group that had to literally tear them apart, rip them up, and we had a burn barrel outside, and we literally burned those suckers. So we burned them up, but
Burn, baby,
thankfully,
burn.
burn baby burn. But thankfully, we still have that copy, and it's before you we didn't I didn't really know why, but when you're out and then you see why they burn these, it's because they're already preparing for what they already are preparing for what they know is about to happen in the future. There's contradictions. They know Zangilja is going to pass away eventually because she's human, and there's new songs that literally say we're gonna ascend alive with her. And just like all of you guys have said, there's so many verses. There it is, 205. I think there's other ones as well. I think there's some other
They
ones as
changed the
well.
wording in
I,
the other ones.
yeah, and
205, they completely removed. You can't find it.
correct. Yeah, and
I wonder.
another thing.
Go ahead, Mitch. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's my last point. I just remember when I became an assistant overseer, it kind of already started. They weren't as blunt about it, but I was told by the overseer, like he would just talk to me sometimes, Eddie, and he would be like, "Brother, what if Mitch, if not Mitch, if Mother dies, would you still follow her? Will you still continue in your faith?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course, according to the end." He's like, "Well, we need to continue to have that kind of faith because." You never know what's going to happen, but we know this is the truth, and Mother is getting old. But if members talk to you or anything about it, pretty much just brush it off. Just don't really talk about it because they were already preparing even the leadership at that time. Before they told the members, they already pretty much told the overseers, and they gaslit the overseers first, and then they started it with the overseers. And I think once all the overseers were kind of on board, yeah, I guess through all these educations and you telling us this, yeah, I guess she can die. And then I think it was its final stage of the mass hypnosis of the church, and then now it's all the members. Now all the members, you're taught now. No, we never taught this, and it's really it's disheartening to me. That they're lying about this. And I heard right now, I got some intel that all mothers' sermons right now, like online, a lot of them, they're like taken down because of like editing purposes. And I wonder if it's because there's sermons that talk about things like of this nature, but they
They
took
would
them
never
down
do
for a
that.
while.
They would
Yeah,
never
they're
do
trying
that.
to. Oh no, you're right, Adam. But that's all I have to say, and I'll kind of continue in with you guys as we go along. But I just remember it as well, even from 2019, that yes, we will go alive with Heavenly Mother, and it's really disheartening that they're already preparing. And if they're really preparing this bluntly and openly by the overseers, there must be something wrong. And when I saw Zangil Ja in Korea in 2024 and 2025, she can barely open her eyes and she's kind of hunched over. She can still speak, but it's like you can tell she's getting up there in age. And I wonder if they're really pushing this right now because they're really preparing. Maybe it's soon. Who knows?
And Adam, I'm gonna go ahead. Adam, shoot.
Oh, I just had one more story about me testing this teaching. If that's okay, Edgar.
Yeah, go for it, bro.
So after they had that education, I wanted to test and see if that's really what was going on because honestly, I couldn't believe my lying ears because of the cognitive dissonance. I couldn't believe my lying eyes or my lying ears. Because those ears, they just keep lying. So anyway, I tested this theory before I left, and before I stopped praying, because how I stopped going was I stopped basically slowly doing everything. But anyway, one of my last prayers I ever did, I was like, I really emphasized that point, like, Mother, when you ascend to heaven, will you please not forget us and let us grasp your robes, and will you please not leave us here? And sorry, my son's screaming.
You
But
good?
basically, my point was, I really emphasized that please don't leave us here. Like, let us go to heaven with you. Don't forget us. Like, take us to heaven with you. And I wanted to hear, like, if I was going to get rebuked or something after, or if no one would say amen, but everybody's like, amen, amen, which just kind of goes to show you a couple of things. Number one, they're just saying amen to whatever, right?
Yeah.
I could be praying to the purple elephant flying behind the moon. They'll probably just still be like, amen, amen, because they're just so brainwashed. But anyway, but I tested it because I wanted to see, number one, if I would get corrected. That was what I was waiting for and hoping for. But the thing is nobody corrected me. And this was like just before I left, because I think everybody still subconsciously knows that that was taught, but yet they still haven't processed the reality of it quite yet. But I just thought that was really interesting. I did like that social experiment, and I prayed like that, and I just wanted to see if I got corrected, which I didn't, which means it was taught, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have been corrected hard if I was listening to, if I heard it wrong or I misunderstood what somebody said. And so I tested that theory, and that kind of affirmed to me, okay, yeah, they're lying. So
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good way to test it. And like you said, the fact that members went along with it, you know what I mean, that no one said anything to you afterwards, shows that that is what we were taught. And I think that it would only be the new wave of members that would disagree with us. See, here's the thing. Um, privately, privately, even old members that are current members won't disagree with us. They know what we're saying is true. But to in front of the members or in front of their leaders, then they have to pretend, right? And I don't know how they try to justify that in their mind. I know that they do try to justify it, because I was like that. When I would see things, I would try to wrestle with it in my head and try to find a justification for it. But the thing is, I don't, my point is not to say we're right, you're wrong. I just want to do an exercise with the members to help them remember their own thoughts. Their own thoughts. Do you guys remember singing those songs? Do you guys remember singing page 205 in the second verse, where it says, in the first verse, our mother sat on her heavenly throne. We were heavenly angels long ago. We were so glad in mother's arms. But where are gone the happy days? 144,000 will gather and go to heaven with our mother. What happened to that? Do you guys remember singing that? And why did they get rid of it? Why'd they get rid of that song? Do you remember joking around with the brothers or building one another's faith, or even hearing from the overseers? I remember several times every year during the New Year's greeting, the overseer, whoever it was, or the pastor would always tell us, this year, let's make all our efforts so we can stop mother's suffering and we can go to heaven alive with her. Every year we would hear that. Every year I would encourage my group like that. What happened? Is this all just one mass delusion that we all somehow all lost our mind? Or do we know? Do we know what we're talking about? Was it said? And when, to Adam's point, if it is said, right, and these prophecies, don't happen. I forgot how you put it, like when you're like, but well, Passover is true anyway, or Sabbath is true, even if she does pass away, does it make the Sabbath not true or the Passover not true, right? Even that's what the leader said in the leaked audio. But here's the thing. Here's an example. Jesus 2,000 years ago, he's in the flesh, right? They're writing about him a lot of times in the red letters. When the apostles are writing, in the red letters is Jesus speaking, right? There's a point when Jesus says to them, the Son of Man will be handed over, into the hands of sinners, and he will be put to death, and on the third day he will be raised to life, right? Now imagine, that came out of his mouth. That wasn't somebody writing for him. That came out of his mouth, right? Imagine that it didn't happen. And then someone called the apostles out on it. Hey, Jesus said this. You taught us like this. Well, anyway, brother, but isn't the Passover the Passover? Does it make the Sabbath wrong? It doesn't work that way. Your God lied. Your organization that's led by God lied. That's a huge problem. You don't get to just brush that under the rug. You need to address this. What happens then to all the evidence that shows you guys did in fact teach that with boldness and confidence when you did this? Where did it go? We want the same energy. We need good answers. Just saying is Sabbath just the Sabbath or that's not what we're debating. We're debating, did you or did you not say these things?
Well,
Go ahead, Adam. Or
I'll say at least they don't have the excuse of the Green Book where it's already been fulfilled.
yeah, true that. They can't say
Yeah.
that.
They can't use that one.
Yeah,
What's up,
I
Mitch?
look at it, everything they always say they're so biblical, right? And there should be a prophecy for everything. So I'm wondering now if they're gonna make, because they already have made up so many prophecies, right? As we know. So I'm wondering if they're gonna introduce a new prophecy that they haven't shared with us in a while, right? A new one saying, see, it was prophesied here because it's very easy to take certain bits of the Bible and start comparing them to things to make up your own opinion about something. So I have a feeling they're going to start introducing once they kind of do the mass hypnosis or a psyop against all the members, and then members start to like believe, yeah, she can die, to finally subdue them into actual belief in it. I think they're going to introduce some prophecy they make up to say, see, she was meant to die. But I just think it's kind of funny because their first god died, and now their second god's going to die. I'm very confused about this. And how do you spin it with, because they spin An Sung Hong's death that he ascended. They don't like saying he's buried in a grave in Busan. They like to say he ascended. But there wasn't that many members at that time, so they can tell members now, yeah, he ascended to heaven. But there's roughly they claim 4 million members, 4.3 million members in the world. How do they justify she ascended to heaven? Because we live in the 21st century now, and in the 21st century, there's going to be death records now that we can easily get if she dies and where she's going to be buried at. So they can't just make the claim, oh, she ascended. We're going to literally have to say she was buried. Then where did her spirit go? Did she rise again on the third day like Jesus Christ? I don't know. It's very interesting, but I hope I'm kind of glad they're teaching this right now, to be honest with you. As mad as it makes me, there's going to be members that wake up from this. There's going to be those members that are like, yep, I'm done. We've had the 2012 failed doomsday prophecy. We've been told we're going to heaven every year, and we've been told we're going to live with to heaven with mother, and they're going to remember those new songs they sing. They're going to remember the sermons with their pastors and overseers. And there's going to be those one members that don't fall under the mass hypnosis, or they don't fall for the psyop that they're playing against all of us. They're going to wake up. So I'm very excited about that. And I know for a fact when she does pass away, there's going to be another split in the church. And then there's going to be more people that leave. They're preparing. I feel like they realize their empire is crumbling and they're just trying to take whatever piece they can and hold on to it so they can have something after all this happens, some kind of wealth, so on and so forth.
You know what,
Yeah.
Paul? You know what prophecy they're going to use, right?
What's
Tell me,
that?
brother. Tell me.
Joshua. Think about it.
Mm.
He, mother somehow is
You're
the
right. Commander.
commander of heavenly armies, right? That archangel, whatever. Even though it's clearly a he in scripture, but let's just forget that part of it. How Joshua actually leads the Israelites into Canaan alone, right? So they're going to, and I called this out like a year ago. I guarantee you they're going to transition to Joshua and be like, see, the commander of the heavenly armies didn't lead them into Canaan. It only, he only led them. I know it's a he, but we'll just say she for the WMSCOG sake. She only led them almost to Canaan, but it's up to Joshua to fulfill the prophecy and lead them into heavenly Canaan. And so they're going to pivot to general pastor, and then that's going to consolidate power, and that's going to keep everybody from asking questions because hey, now we can kind of fit it in scripture. Do you doubt the Bible? Do you?
Yeah.
Don't doubt. Don't.
Yeah. And then,
Unless you're
to
on the
your
East Coast where Daniel Lee says, the Bible, we don't need it anymore. Just believe in mother's word.
yeah. Yeah, that's always a safeguard if all else fails, who throw out the Bible, right? And just follow me, follow the leader. I think it's pretty. pretty wild, you know. I mean, I have my theories of what they would push, but again, there's always going to be ways to, of course, those who don't want it debunked, they're not going to care. But even if they were to go that route, the commander of the Lord's army, who was the commander in the of the Lord's army in the first place, according to their teaching, it was God the Father, right? They taught us that. We have notes. We used to teach that as well. So now they have
One
to
body, brother.
switch. Yeah, yeah. So, oh, or like they said in the last education, father and
Yeah.
mother are one spirit,
Weren't you
which
taking notes, Edgar? Come on, man.
it's like they contradict the scripture, man, with every breath. And before I forget, real quick, because I found my favorite song, it's actually 208. So I used to sing this a lot. And it's like, oh, my dear heavenly home, can I go today? I desire to go back to my home. Oh, mother, mother, but I know the anxious heart of my mother. She cannot go home. Wait a second. She cannot go home before she finds all her loving children, the 144,000. So what happened?
Whoa. Whoa, another contradiction. Wow.
So she's punching the clock early. Part time. She's a part timer. Like this is not how it works. And here's the thing. Like I don't know. It takes the whole. One of the reasons why I followed. One of the things that really made it stick for me is when they would say, "Okay, here's another the weeds and wheat." Why was Satan able to change the truth and take power during the time of the dark ages? Because Jesus, God, was not on earth, right? But when God is on earth, Satan cannot what? Overcome. Well, wait a second. So if you're preparing the members to, for her passing, does that mean that Satan then can overcome? I so does it take the power away from the church of God because now they become like every other church that is going to be led by a man? Oh, but general pastor, he cannot be a man. And even to that point, I mean, even if they do that switch, what's going to happen then? General pastor's no spring chicken either. What's going to happen when he goes? Then what? Oh, it's the prophecy of Samuel. Like come on, guys. Like at the end of the day, you at one point you're gonna have to give it up, and unless you're just gonna be like La Luz del Mundo that just keeps passing down the rank, to the next one up, next one up, next one up. Is that what the World Mission Society is gonna turn into?
Yeah,
It's
I
just
like that you said that,
crazy.
Edgar. And that's why I think Daniel Lee, this is a conspiracy, but I think it's a good one. All right. I think the reason Daniel Lee is so avid on telling members it's the Bible really doesn't matter anymore. It's Mother's word. That's what we need to follow. Mother's word. So when Mother passes away, right? There's probably going to be like the same kind of hand down that happened in 1985 when An Sang Hong died, when Kim Ju Chol and Zhang Gil were like, "Yeah, he gave us authority. We have no evidence. Just take our word for it." I think the same thing's going to happen. Daniel Lee's going to be like, "Before Mother died, before she died, she told me I will be the new general pastor. Listen to me. Don't you dare listen to Kim Joo Chol. He's a liar. He's a fraud. He's fake news." That's what's going to happen, I feel. And he's going to take some. I think he's going to take part of America. And then I think General Pastor will take some of the members. And then I feel like at least 30% of America, of the people in the world will probably wake up at that point when she passes away. But yeah, I think they're same as Daniel Lee. They're all trying to take their little part of the kingdom before it crumbles. And they're all preparing for that. That's just my little conspiracy I have for you
Daniel
guys for the evening.
Daniel Park already got a head start on that one, man. He saw it coming beforehand. He said the
Heck yeah, he
time
did.
to build is now.
He's
It's
taking
He's
time
like,
notes.
to
Mother chose
invest.
me. Mother chose me, guys. Mother is imprisoned under Daniel, under what's his name? Under Kim Joo Chol. She's in prison, but
Yeah.
I am the one.
If I could piggyback on you, Edgar, um, remember how they used to always say, remember how they used to always say, you know why Moses died, right? You know why King David died, why all these people died? It's because their mission was complete, right? So if you don't want to die, work, like finish your mission and then you'll die, basically. You remember that? Anyone
Yeah,
remember that?
I remember that.
But if mother dies and there's not the 144,000 then to send alive, how is that mission complete? Because that's what I was taught is the only reason why these prophets and apostles died was because their mission was fulfilled. They, God called them back, but mother's not done. So if she dies before the 144,000 are gathered, then that mission's incomplete. So what was the point?
Yeah.
What was the point?
One question with that as well. Adam and Egger, I love that you brought up 208. I wasn't even thinking about that just because I haven't been in the New Song books for a while. Because 208 says she can't go home until, was this one taken out as well? Do you know that? Or if it was changed by any chance?
I'm actually on the examining site. It says New Song 208, Oh My Dear Heavenly Home, says that Zhang Gilja cannot go home before she finds all her loving children, the 144,000. In the 2020 version, the same New Song, this time number 213, the aforementioned line was changed to She cannot go home until she finds all her loving children, or he cannot go home until he finds all her loving children.
Yeah, something like that. And I think it's just
Yeah.
interesting because it brings up another problem. Like the church it's creating more and more problems by mentioning this because if she can't go home until she finds 144,000, so she ascends alive, that means 144,000 should have been found, right? And this brings up a problem because the church has told us in many educations and many sermons, and I think there's probably other news songs about it too, that when the 144,000 are found, we go to what? Heaven. I know they swapped the 2012 thing to say, yes, they were all found, but now it's the time for inspection. But if she ascends, that means they've all been officially found. And it brings up the other contradiction because if they're all found, we should still be going to heaven. So this is a big problem as well for the world mission. And I think it's going to keep going down like that because they've already stated that she can die. There's going to be all these problems now and all these other things that are going to make it easier to doubt and easier for people to leave because of these kind of contradictions like this. Like how the gig is up. I mean, eventually people wake up. Eventually people see enough red flags. It doesn't matter how much you do mass hypnosis or a psyop, which is what they're conducting right now. I know usually governments conduct psyops, but this was planned. And for it to be a psyop, it has to be a planned thing. And it was planned for sure. I believe 100% this was planned. And they're just trying to gaslight everybody. But again, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. People are going to leave. And I'm excited.
Edgar, sorry, I'm still picking back up on what you said. They do treat General Pastor like a god.
Oh, I witnessed that
And
firsthand.
Especially Eddie, Adam.
that's what I was going to say. I mean, I remember Elder Eddie saying like, oh, General Pastor, he's not like us. He's different.
Human.
He's not like us. He has determination. Some people are determined, but he is determined. Like just this kind of like just weird.
He is a scam artist. I think
He
is what
literally
he was
talked
trying to
more
say.
about Eddie talked
Seriously,
more
though.
about General Pastor than he would Mother.
But
I'm
let's
not
be
even
real.
joking you.
Let's be real. Like Mother is the entire glue holding this operation together, right? I seriously doubt anyone's going to hop on a plane, fly 16 hours to go see Kim Joo Chol. It's not going to
I
happen.
wouldn't.
I would.
I mean, the dude
Give
is
one of those.
the dude has the charisma of a rusty nail. You know, he's less entertaining than paint drying. You know, because at least that produces a result and actually like a good paint job. But his sermons are the cure for insomnia. You know, and so nobody's going to hop on a plane to see him. I'm sorry, but the Korea visits are going to stop. I mean, unless there's like a museum of Mother, maybe they'll go and see that and see Father. But like Museum of Father and Mother, at that point, they'll redo all that. Maybe put up her black handbook or whatever that she never wore to his funeral, but or whatever the case is. they'll probably do something like that, but nobody's gonna go and see like, oh, General Pastor, oh, you look so healthy, you look so good. You know, they're
You
not gonna
imagine
go.
him like, the people getting off the bus and then he's running to you in slow motion with a
I know.
Come on, man.
He's gonna
That's
wear
creepy,
handbooks.
bro. all I'm saying is they need to do something because they need to change the prophecy then from mission of Elijah to out of Mission Impossible, because it seems to me like she failed her mission horribly. If she passes and 144,000 are still here, that creates a huge problem. And if she does pass away and then they say, well, 144,000 were found, she picked them before, she knows who they are. Okay, who are they? Then do we become the Jehovah's Witness who say only 144,000 keep Passover? Only they can eat the bread and drink the wine. Okay, wait a second. I remember I asked the Jehovah's Witness this. Okay, so only 144,000 can actually eat it. Everyone can commemorate it, but only 144,000 can eat and drink. How do you know who's 144,000? They just
feel
know.
it.
So,
They look
okay.
burning in their bosom.
Exactly. So then if that's the case, so then there's going to be mass competition. Oh, I'm 144,000. Oh, I'm 144,000. You're not 100. It's every way you look at it, it's just sloppy. This is a
I know what he's gonna do.
sloppy. What is that?
All right, another conspiracy. I know you guys like them. So, hear me out, all right? So, there's a lot of members, right? 4 million, and they already know the church is
Allegedly.
going to pretty much they allegedly, but they know the church is going to fall apart. Like, let's just be honest. They know when she dies, a lot of problems. I want it down if General Pastor is like, okay, gets his accountants in the room and he's like, has a board meeting. He's like, who are the richest people that offer the most in the World Messiah Church of God around the world? Okay, we're gonna make them the 144,000. Okay, so they stay, and then they give me all the money, and then everyone else, we don't really care about them. They can just leave.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy.
And
Or, yeah, go ahead, Adam. Go ahead.
the best case scenario, and this is what my hope and my dream is that she comes right with God. She repents and proclaims the Lord Jesus, and she is forgiven of her sins. That is my hope. That is my dream.
man.
Is that she goes and she says sorry to everybody, to everyone that she's hurt. She repents and she comes to Jesus and denounces this depravity, denounces this delusion, and releases her hold on all of God's children. And I'm not trying to sound like some righteous preacher right now, but that is genuinely like my hope, is that she comes clean and for her own soul and for her own afterlife. Because I'm a Christian, and that's what I believe, because I think that's the reality of it. But my hope and dream is that she comes clean and she repents and she comes to Lord Jesus and asks for forgiveness, and she is forgiven and she goes to heaven. Because as it stands right now, there's not going to be. I mean, I have a sneaking suspicion that these people don't believe in God, because if they did, there's no way they could be acting like this. But that's my hope, is when she does, she gets right with God and she repents and she denounces this nonsense and frees the people.
Yeah.
And that's just, I mean, I know I'm reaching it out. I'm trying to reach the stars, but hopefully we'll land on the moon here or something. But that's just my hope. That's kind of been my dream, is that happens. Do I think it's going to happen? I am also a realist. I don't think it will happen, but who knows?
No, man, I share the same thing as you. I mean, I feel like it's not a very popular opinion, especially when it comes into the ex-member circles. I talk to ex-members on a daily basis, people that reach out, and that's why we say I don't wish bad upon her. I don't wish death upon her. I do want her to repent as well. What's the likelihood of that happening? Not much. Not much. But if it happens, no problem. That doesn't mean if she asks for forgiveness, right? It doesn't, it's not up to us for people to forgive her, right? She's
No,
caused a lot of damage, and people are entitled to not forgive her if she ever did. And again, we're speaking in hypotheticals, right?
absolutely.
But people don't have to forgive her, but for her own good, it would be
Exactly.
good for her to do that. So I
Exactly.
get that, because I understand that as a Christian as well. What these people have laying in front of them as of right now, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. It's in their best interest to repent. But again, in all likelihood, does that seem like that's what's going to happen? Not really, especially right now with everything going on. It seems like they're looking to, here's the crazy part, they're already planning ahead for when it does happen. She's not saying anything, so she's complying. She's part of that, like I don't know. World Mission Society. I don't. I mean, all I can say is that for the sake of the members, obviously, I'm doing this for the members, like those who are watching. You guys have heard the same things that we heard. You guys have the same notes that we have. You've had the same new song books, unless you were asked to rip those pages off and you threw them away. But I mean, look at the evidence. Look at the evidence and just think about it. Think about everything that's going on right now, and why doesn't it make sense? Why does the history that the World Mission Society Church of God teach you doesn't line up with their own history, their own real history, right? Or even the history that they themselves taught you, but 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. This place is so reactive. They've changed their truth over and over and over and over again. And I think that that's something worth talking about, because if this is the true perfect church, why does it change so much? I mean, I'm so scared of, what I mean? Sometimes somebody says, the World Mission, like, who did I hear? I was watching Mitch's interview with Anthony earlier. I think that's where it was, where you mentioned about something that Thanksgiving. You said, what was it you that mentioned about how members can now pray in the name of
Yeah.
Jesus at Thanksgiving? That
Yeah.
is
What?
nuts to me.
I didn't hear
That
that.
Yep.
that
Yeah,
is like,
I've heard it from a couple different members that left. So I can't fully like say yes throughout the whole organization, but when you start hearing it from a couple different members and different places that leave, it's very interesting to hear something like that, especially when members are so fearful, actually to keep Thanksgiving, just to have a regular dinner like you usually would have with your family. Um, to be able to pray in the name of Jesus, it's so crazy to me. And I think you guys may have heard it as well in the inner workings. Again, I wouldn't even say this is verified yet, but I've also heard things on the other end that, you know, they can miss Sabbath day to have vacations with their family or something like this. This is not verified. I cannot say that, but these are things I'm starting to hear now, and I think the church is trying to be like, okay, Zangil Jah is going to die. And if she dies, which we don't wish this death upon anybody, of course, but we got to be honest with ourselves.
We're
We're
all
human,
human.
and
We're all gonna
humans,
die.
yeah, we're all going to die. She is getting
It's just a
older
fact
in
of life.
age. And I feel like it's more damage control because they know many people will leave also if she dies. I honestly believe this. And they're like, okay, well, let's make it less controlling to the members and like let's let them have vacation and stuff. But on the other end of things, they're doing a lot of information control at the same time because we're revealing a lot of this stuff. Edgar, Adam, more and more of us, we're revealing it, and people are leaving because of that. So this church, just to be honest, I don't see. I'm looking at this church in the lens of the Unification Church. They had their prosperous time in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And then after that, so much stuff came out about them and everything they were doing, the lies, the scandals, the failed doomsday prophecy, all that. Multiple people, so many people fell away. But guess what? At the end of the day, Reverend Moon and Miss Moon, who's now in jail in Korea at the moment, they have their empire still. There's those faithful members, those 144,000, right? And they're faithful, and it's still an organization. It's just lost in the history books. It's just another cult. that played the playbook, built off another cult like the Moonies, World Mission, and they allowed their empire to last just a little longer, to have their wealth, to have their freedom, to grow this empire and to be powerful and proud, just like narcissists like before they die. But at the end of the day, with the World Messiah Church of God, I mean, they're going to crumble. They're also going to crumble. And there was one more point I wanted to mention. We want her to repent, of course, right? But you hear so many people in Koreans say cult cults, they don't actually believe this. Many cult leaders, it's a business for them. It's hard to get work in Korea, and they know religion is a way to get followers and to make money. And they'll play the script as much as they can to get the money to continue their cause, should we say.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I wish my whole thing is I try to forgive as much as I can, even Zong and Kim Ju-chol, because even though they do, they try taking down my channel, all this kind of nonsense, at the end of the day, life is too short to be like them. Life is too short to hate. Life is too short to not have conversations, to not have friends, to not have love and peace. If they want to act childish and be like this, that's just why I encourage them to, I think that just shows that I've forgiven them. Forgiveness does not mean forget. They're two different words, right? I haven't forgotten a single thing, so don't take, this is like, I just forgot everything that's ever happened to me or to anybody else. That's not what I'm saying. And I hope I'm not coming across like that. I mean, just look at Corey's story, Esperanza's story. I mean, horrendous things have happened in this organization, and they're all on their head. All this is in their hands, right? They're the ones that orchestrated it. I totally get that. And I hope people don't think I'm nullifying their experience, because we've all gone through stuff. We've all been in that. So I hope that, those listening, I'm not nullifying your experience. I'm just showing you that life is too short to be like them, to have them still control your heart, right? Because hatred, anger, it has its place, but it's also not healthy. And so I just encourage, if anyone is still angry and hurt and broken, to get the help that they need, whether that means, obviously I'm a Christian. I think, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life, and that he is the source of healing, and he is a source of hope and happiness. But also I'm real too. Like, get therapy, get help, talk about it, speak to everyone and anyone about it. I've talked to clients about it. Like my whole team. I'm not going to tell you where I work because I don't want the WMSCOG to harass me there. But my whole team, they know I was in a cult, and they ask me questions about it, and I just talk to them about it as if it's like I'm talking about the weather, right? I talk to everybody about it. My friends that I have made outside of the cult, or even ex-cult, even outside of ex-cult members, like just normal, friends that we just hit it off, right? I tell them about it. I tell them about my experiences. You'd be surprised, like, because I still think we have this thing in our brain where we think the world is just so, especially like looking at the news, we think the world is so evil and cruel and this and that, which it is. I'm not denying that. But there is a lot of good. There's a lot of good things that happen, a lot of amazing people that are walking past us that we don't even think to talk to have a relationship with, to have a conversation with. And so I'm just trying to be devil's advocate for Zong and Kim Ju-chol, because I'm tired of hating, because they are the ones that taught me how to hate. They're the ones that taught me how to just look at somebody and not even want to have a conversation with them and just hate them just because they told me to. And so my whole thing is just, I have love, I have peace, I have hope. And that's something that they can't copyright strike me with. And to your guys' point with her passing, one of the things I was just thinking about is, how they're always emphasizing generations. Like, oh, this will surely not, or this will surely happen during this generation. And then at first it was like 1948 to 1988, right? Then move the goalpost. Okay, well, after she passes, what is the generation? Where does that start? Where does that end? Right? Because first it was like, well, that was, a different fulfillment. But then after Zong passes, where's the generation end? Where does it start? Like that part is so confusing to me, and that's just something I was thinking about. But anyway, sorry,
See,
tangent.
Adam, this is where you're wrong, bro. You missed it. You missed it. The generation didn't start in 1948. Father actually meant 2048. That's when
Oh,
the clock begins to tick. You see what I'm
gotcha,
saying?
gotcha.
Yeah, they accidentally, because one is so close to two on like the typewriter back then. In the book, it said 1948, but it's just a miss.
You're right, because I remember the new
Yeah,
song. He stayed up. He worked so hard and stayed up all night to type away and to save money
yeah,
for a
and then
typewriter.
when they
Type
said
away all night.
when they said on when say Ansung Hong's the second coming Christ, what they actually meant is Ansung Hong is the first coming Christ of the age of the Holy Spirit, and he'll appear again in 1948 to take us to heaven. So we need to wait for him. Okay, buddy? Keep giving your tithe.
It's
Sure, man.
maybe her ascension is a spiritual ascension. I think
Of
that we just
course.
all misunderstood. You know, these new songs, they didn't actually go away. Sure, they ripped them up and burned them, but they're engraved in Mother's heart forever. So it's just maybe only 100 and here it is, only 144,000 can learn the new songs. Maybe, just maybe, the new songs that were tore up and burned are already engraved in the hearts and minds of 144,000 saints, and they will sing those forbidden lost new songs at the last moment when she actually does ascend spiritually or something like that.
Are you guys trying to make me go back to WMSCOG? Like, you brainwashing me right now?
Yes, that was a goal. That was a goal.
Where do I sign
Anything
up?
is possible. You said what?
Where do I sign up, Edgar?
No, man. I ain't trying to get you back in that mess, man. All right. I want you guys to do me a solid. I want to go over some of the church history, but I'd love it if you guys actually read the slides because I don't know if you
For
guys
sure.
could tell, but my voice has been shot for the last 2 months. Uh-huh. This is actually forcing me into early retirement. So back to matter of fact, which is one of the things I wanted to piggyback off of in the very beginning of what Adam mentioned. And I think that is very important. And he mentioned about how important it is for other people to step up and to make content, whatever kind of content it is. And it's already happening, but we need more of it. We need more of it. And if you feel that you're inadequate, that you can't do it, trust me, you can. If I can do
Yep.
it, listen, I'm telling you guys, I'm this is not me being humble. This is not me. I don't know crap when it comes to this stuff. Crap. I don't know. And I just wing it and I just do my best. And Adam does a great job. Mitch is doing a fantastic job. Jordan, Great Light Studios, Michelle Cologne with the examining site, all the people, all the accounts on Instagram from all the ex-members that are putting in work, even if their face is not shown, but the impacts that they're making behind the scenes. That's what we need. It's like here with her new channel, right? All these like members
Heck yeah.
step up and do we have to be the change. We have to do it.
Yep.
They're not look, what they want is they want us to go away and for no one else to come out. We need everyone to come out and to speak.
Yep.
Our strength is in numbers. It's in numbers. That's how we're going to get them. That if you want to see those people go free, if you have loved ones that are stuck in there, I know I do, we have to all be willing to unite together and work together as a team.
I gotta
And
say something off this. Yeah.
go ahead,
Uh,
Mitch.
uh, no, I love what Edgar just said, and thanks for mentioning that at the beginning, Adam. People, please. I'm talking. I know so many pastoral staff that have left the church, assistants, overseers, guys. I know I'm not trying to be firm with you, but speak out. Like, don't be scared. And here's why I say this, and this is why I mention ex-Scientology people all the time. You know, Scientology only has about 20 to 50,000 people in the world, members, and our church claims 4 million. But who knows about who? Everybody knows about Scientology. There's so many videos made about Scientology. Why? Because even though Scientology will have people stalk you, will interfere with your jobs, will try to sue you, will try to ruin relationships. For ex-members that speak out, becoming SP, a suppressive person, Scientology, you have a lot worse consequences than we do. The World Mission, they're a bad cult, but they don't take actions as drastic as Scientology does to their ex-members. But when you look at the Scientology community online and how many ex-leaders, people, I'm talking like the overseers, pretty much in Scientology, as you can put it, if you want to compare it to ours. The overseers, the high up leaders who ran districts and all that, they're out there, they're speaking out. There's so many channels against Scientology, and these channels are huge because they're not scared, because they have the community, they gathered in their numbers, and they all back each other. They have foundations and they help people that are leaving and stuff. And I don't want people to be scared of the World Mission Society Church of God. Even me. I mean, I'm very vocal right now, just like you guys are, speaking out. They could sue me. I signed NDAs too. I'm not scared of them. There's so many court cases that have nullified NDAs against this church. And if they want to take us to court, I don't want to go to court. I'm never going to sue them myself. But if they go there, even though I don't want to go there, I understand for the betterment of members and people that leave, we need to do this. And I really, really hope, like you said, Edgar and Adam, it's not about like, yeah, that's cool. You get a big channel or it grows big. Awesome. But it's not about that. The main reason we're speaking out is because we have a story that people don't know, and there's members in the church that don't know information that the church is lying to them about. And please speak up. The more people that share their story, online. It doesn't matter how good you are. Yes, some are better with cameras, some aren't. That doesn't matter. Sharing the story, speaking your mind of what happened to you, the lies, it's only going to help more people leave. And this is what's so, so important. And I'm glad you brought that up, Edgar. And I'm glad Adam brought that up at the beginning, even though I wasn't on. This is what I have hope for, that there's just 30 of us, maybe 50, and then maybe 60 people, people that aren't even in the world mission, that are like, wow, this group is big. Because there's so many people on YouTube that are making videos about Scientology, like I infiltrated Scientology or I exposed the Scientology cult. They're not even members. Why do they do this? Because the ex-members of that cult spoke out so much about this group that has gained the attention of people that weren't even in the cult. And they're speaking their minds about the cult too and how bad they are. And that's my hope in the that I mean, we have more World Mission Society Church of Gods in the United States than Scientology even has. Like, come on. Like, I really hope people wake up to this. I'm not saying our cult was as bad, but it's pretty bad. And yeah, thanks for saying that. I really hope. And I know there's people in the chat. Please, let's speak out. Let's make a channel. Just start. Let's just start talking. You know, there's a
You
lot of
know,
stuff.
the one thing, the one way the World Mission Society wins is if everyone stays quiet. That is what they want more than anything, is to
100%.
keep us quiet. The way we win is for everyone to speak, for everyone to come together and to fight. That's what they're scared of. You think they're scared of me or Adam or Jordan or Michelle or Mitch or no, but together, that's what brings fear to them. That's how you collapse organizations, corrupt organizations like this one. You want them out? You want them to stop damaging people? Do something about it. It's an encouragement. It's an encouragement. I'm not forcing anything on anybody, but what I'm saying is there's different ways to speak out. There's different ways to do things, but the one thing they want is for you to do nothing. That's what they want. But guys, if you survived World Mission Society Church of God, you have what it takes. You have what it takes to fight back, to get your truth out there. They can't stop you from telling your truth. And the more people that speak out, the less likelihood they're going to go after us. Like Mitch was saying, we're not, of course, we don't want, to have to go through a lot of the situation like Michelle Cologne. But if we have to, we will.
And we'll help each
But
other. And that's what I'm
right
hoping.
together.
The more people that leave, the more people that speak out. Let's just say Adam, I got, and I'm just using an example. Uh, let's just say Adam gets sued, right? It already looks bad on the church because they've already lost so many lawsuits. But just think if we had an army behind us, like a foundation that can actually help with this. Because none of us here are rich, right? None of us have the ability to take on an organization by ourselves. But what if an organization attacked us? Let's say they sue Adam now, right? I don't think they really want to sue anymore because it's so bad for them, at least in America. But let's say they did. And think about all the ex-members, how many ex-members there are. And if we had a strong community and again, I'm just speaking theoretically, and everyone donated like $10 to something like that. I'm not saying donate now, but if something happened like to Adam and we had a foundation that could help members to where they can feel not they can feel open to be able to speak out without the consequences of I can't afford a court case against this church. And we can be like, you know what? We'll help. You know what I mean? We're here for you. And this is the kind of community I think it's really important we have in the World Messiah Church of God's ex-members. I mean, we called each other family in the World Mission. Why can't we still call each other family when we leave? I mean, we were super close to each other. We went through something that other people haven't. I can tell you right now, when I was in the military, the group I went through boot camp with, we were so close because it's called trauma bonding. And it's so true. I'm so close to the people in boot camp. We went through something. We have a story that nobody understands about, that nobody's experienced but us, and that really bonds people together. And I think we should be like that as well. Let's be a group. Let's defend each other. Let's back each other up. And I'm gonna be the first person. I mean, if Edgar or Adam gets sued or somebody comes after one of them, I'm gonna be the first one, honestly, to do something, right, to help. And I just hope, like Edgar and Adam have been saying, please, I really hope more members speak out. Whether, and there's so many ways to help. Do an interview with one of us if you don't want a channel. Make your own channel. You know, spread it. It's not about us growing our massive channel like the church likes to say and selling our merch and
Hey, hold on,
everything
hold on,
like
hold
that.
on, hold on. Let me correct you on one thing, Mitch.
Yeah,
Earlier, you just said none of us here are rich. Listen, I don't know about you guys. I'm rich. According to World Mission Society Church of God, because I've sold $10, I don't know whether they're like 12,
you're right. You're
$20
right.
shirts. I've sold approximately around 10 shirts. I'm banking
Filthy
right
rich.
now. You
You're
know what I mean?
banking.
That's why I can't afford 4K quality. That's why I'm the only one that still has, you know what I mean, like 480p or whatever, that I'm doing my interviews on, because I'm just banking off these t-shirts. You know what I mean? But no, in all seriousness, we're like, just to everybody, to what Mitch was saying, to what I was saying, to what Adam was saying, guys, you guys are going to be the difference makers. I promise you, you guys have more power than you guys realize. And one thing that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned before I lost my chain of thought, before we wouldn't mention things like this, but now I'm okay with mentioning things like this because the tides are changing. Everything is changing. And the only ones that are still fooling you that it's not, the only ones that are still have a good poker face on is the World Mission Society. They're trying to act and pretend like we're fools, like we're crazy, like nothing is happening. Meanwhile, everything that they're doing is proving that they're scrambling right now. What they want you to do is to turn your brain off one more time, enough to indoctrinate you, to get you away, to not listen to what we have to say. But it's okay. Even if you don't listen to what I have to say, I don't care. I really don't. Go watch Adam's channel. Go watch Mitch's channel. Go look at the examining site. Go listen to another ex-member. The point is, look at the evidence. Right now, you have to look at everything in the light and realize, has this place lied to me? Have they proven to me that everything that they're saying is facts, or are they being dishonest? Are they not acting trustworthy? And if they are showing those type of red signs, those red flags, why should I be loyal to them if they're not loyal to me? Go ahead, Adam.
I just had like 3 things, and I actually got to hop off here. First thing is, I've heard so many times from outside, like, because obviously we have people inside that hear and spies and whatnot. But I've heard so many times where people say, "Oh, the ex-members, they're just so loud. Why don't they just, if the world is so much better, why don't they just go out and leave quietly and leave in peace, right? And just go live their life and leave us alone." I've heard that so many times. That is what the cult wants us to do. That is what the cult has kind of instilled in us to do. Like, everyone that leaves, they just leave quietly. They don't want to talk to anybody. They don't want to say anything. They don't want to do anything, because that's what the cult has taught us. That's what they've ingrained in us. And so if we do that, then it means we're still letting them control our lives. We're still giving them our God-given rights as Americans to not speak our truth, to not speak about what happened to us, to still have a hold of us. And the thing is if somebody hurt one of your family members, would you just be okay and just not say anything? If someone you loved was getting hurt and abused constantly, would you in your heart be like, "Oh, that's fine. Yeah, just let it continue to happen. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to lift a finger." That's up for you to decide. I'm not going to tell you how to feel about that. But it's not much different than what's happening with people inside the WMSCOG. People are getting hurt, exploited, extorted, broken, just depressed. And to me, it's not about anything other than helping people. Because at the end of the day, like, if people knew how YouTube worked, I've spent so much more money making videos and editing and all that kind of stuff. And I have a $100 camera, just in case anyone's wondering, but it's not 4K or anything. But anyway, the point is I haven't, like, this is never going to be my job. This is like a second job, full time, volunteering. Actually, I pay money to do this. It's almost like being in WMSCOG, actually, paying to volunteer, right? Like, it's almost the same thing.
But it's out of your free will.
But it's out of my free will.
Wait a second. I'm upset. You got $100 camera?
I know.
My camera got sent to me by Amy. I got hand-me-downs. This microphone was sent to me by Santiago. How dare you have $100 camera?
To be fair,
I went into debt to get my stuff because I had no money when I left.
You have a business, though. That's different. Just kidding.
But I had to go. But I have debt because I had no money to start the business.
We all have debt. That's fine. We all have debt. That's what credit cards are for. It helps. Just kidding. No, don't do it, guys. Well, actually, I don't know if I can say his name, but an ex-member from California gave me this microphone. So, and it's like a $300 microphone. So, praise God for you, man.
He makes great music.
And my second point here would be the reason why I hope a lot of people not only just speak up and interview on people's channels, but do their own thing. Because what there's people I can help, right? Because a lot of people, they might not resonate with my stuff. They might not like my stuff. Then they'll go to Edgar, right? Or they'll go to Mitch, or they'll go to somebody
I don't like Adam's stuff. He's my friend.
and if you guys want to see, like, you think you're inadequate and you can't do this, just watch Mitch's channel and you'll be full of vigor.
You might lose some brain cells in mine. If you want to lose a couple brain cells, come to my channel. Sorry.
Just kidding. No, Mitch has got some good stuff. He actually helps me a lot with my stuff. So, but there's a lot of people that can resonate with you that maybe won't resonate with me, Mitch, or Edgar, but they'll resonate with you. And that's something that I found too, is a lot of people, they're like, hey, you bore me with the Bible stuff. I'm going to go check out Edgar's stuff because he's got the goods, or Mitch or whatever. And that's fine. I don't get hurt because I realize everybody has their own way. Everybody has their own vibe. Everybody has their own thing. And that's what makes it great. That's what makes it awesome. That's what makes it yours. So I would say, yeah, if you want to interview on our channels, but it's better if you do it on your own because you have a unique story. You're a unique person. You have a unique style that can resonate with somebody that maybe me, Edgar, and Mitch can't do, which is great. And I give thanks to God for that. not only that, but I guess my third point would be the more there is of us and one of us gets taken out, let's say, because I don't think we're going to get sued. I mean, I don't know, knock on wood, right? But
By taking out, you mean taking out another way? Like,
I mean, like taken to court, but I don't think that per se, but they could take down our channels, which is probably more likely. And the fact is like, I hope that there's 1,000 of me, 1,000 of Edgar, 1,000 of Mitch. I mean, not like us per se, but I'm trying to say, like, there's an army of people doing the exact same thing we are. And who knows, maybe doing it better. It's not, I mean, we don't really set the bar that high, let's be real. But um the bar is pretty low, guys. And so my whole thing is like, if they take one of our channels down, I don't want to have to worry because, that just leaves Diffusing and Mitch and all these other, a handful of people, because there's a lot, but compared to before, but there could be a lot more too. If there was thousands of us, you know how awesome that would be if you typed in WMSCOG and I don't even exist on there. Edgar doesn't even exist. Mitch definitely doesn't exist on there. But it's all you guys. That would be a dream come true to me, to where it's like, dang, I can't even find my crap on here and I'm at the 10th page. That would honestly be the coolest thing ever.
it's like a
That's just,
relay race as well.
yeah.
After talking to like Michelle or Jordan from like Great Light Studios, um, it's like a relay race, right? The people before us, generation, they did their job. They did their work. They set the foundations. We're gonna make a statue of them, but not to pray to it, all right? Just to remember them.
Yeah.
And then,
But
and then we
I gotta
carry
take
we
off, guys.
carry on.
So
You
Okay,
I
gotta
hey, it
appreciate
was
go.
it,
good
Edgar.
talking, Adam.
Appreciate it, Mitch. See you later.
Hey, follow, like,
Peace,
subscribe,
man.
Finding the Alternative.
Yes,
Great
sir.
channel.
Thanks for
But yeah,
thanks for coming, man.
Thanks. Have a
thanks
good
for
night, guys.
coming, Adam. But yeah, like Adam said, it's true, and I really hope more people can start making like either coming out on just interviews, helping in the background, like with websites or Reddit pages or reaching out to people. Um, but I look at it like a relay race, really. I mean, because it takes a lot of effort and time to do what we're doing, let's be honest. And our channels all have a different vibe and a different feeling to them. But, Michelle Cologne, Anthony Gray Light Studios, they did their part and they did an amazing part. And obviously, they're always still helping all the time and coming on. But you get burnt out. Let's just be honest after a while. But that's what we're hoping for. So when I first was leaving the church, there was Great Light Studios, and then there was Plane in Traffic, and then Egger popped up, and I started watching Egger's stuff. And before I left, Adam's stuff started to pop off too. And I'm like, dude, this is great. More and more channels are popping up. So I'm like, I'm gonna do the same thing, and I'm gonna start mine. And then sometimes people they're more acquainted to like Egger's channel or Adam's channel. We're all different personalities, right? So whoever you vibe with better, we're all roughly given the same information, I would say, but in different ways, and we're all doing different things, but we're all here at the end of the day to help ex-cult members or ex-World Mission Society Church of God members, or to be the people when you start doubting the World Mission Society Church of God, that one of us you might feel comfortable with to watch one of our videos, to start listening because to be honest with you, it's so hard to wake up a person in the cult. Usually something has to happen to them in the cult for them to get the courage to actually go online. But don't you want them to have content out there for them to look up people and to see how the church actually is? Because if nobody's speaking out, they have nobody to go to. They have no information about the church. So I really love having YouTube because when I was doubting, I had a plethora of information on Great Light Studios and you, Edgar, especially at first, you two. At first were so big to me when I was first leaving, and it was hard. It was really hard to watch the videos. At first, I was trying to like debunk them, but eventually, you're like, I kind of like this guy. I think he's. Let me open up my mind. Let me just hear him out and see what he's saying, and then I'll make my decision. And that's kind of how it was for me. And I told myself because I've always loved YouTube. You know what I mean? I've always loved it. I knew it when I was doubting. I'm like, if I ever leave, I'm gonna do YouTube as well because that's what I did for the church. I ran their YouTube page in like the central region, and I'm like, people need to know about this, and this is a new form of information. A lot of people don't trust the news or anything like that anymore. But you know what people are really starting to look at more? People's experiences and YouTube. So I know I keep repeating topics and we've already kind of gone over this more and more, but I think it's one of the biggest things is just people telling their truth, speaking out. And I can't wait until the day. And I have a feeling, and I'm not saying like I have somebody waiting because I don't, but I have a feeling 2026, I feel like there's going to at least be some more assistant overseers, or even if we're lucky, an overseer to come on the channel, like an ex-overseer. I feel like there's going to be more of us because 2025, Quincy and me are assistants. You know, you can start seeing now we're getting more bold, I feel, because there are more people speaking out. Me and Quincy, we got the courage and we're like, yeah, we're assistants, but like, screw the church. We're speaking out. We're going to speak our mind. We're not going to be silenced. We're not moving on. So hopefully 2026, on one of the channels somewhere, we can have an overseer that left the church that is not scared and can speak his mind and share his story and actually how it is. Because even me as an assistant, I knew a lot of kind of how what was going on in the inner workings. But I can tell you right now, overseers know a lot more than what I even knew. And so hopefully we can do hopefully soon.
For sure.
That's all I have for my side of things. I talk a lot. Sorry.
No, man, you're good. You're good. It's important to get all that out there. I think it's time to finish with this, man. Let's release some files. I want you to help me out with this, Mitch.
For sure, I got you. Hey, those that history file was finally it's open. It's open to the public. It's good.
Yes, sir. And I
Let's
will
get
be
it.
posting this link if you want to start. So this is from was sent to me by my good friend Pastor Kim from
He's a good guy.
he's a really good guy leading the Church of God Jesus Witnesses. He wanted me to review this for him, and I want to share this with you guys. So I will
Awesome.
send this link for people to, check this out for yourself. But this contains a lot of the pictures, most of the pictures that I sent. So this is kind of like the history from Korea itself. So Mitch, if you want to take it away just from the top, man.
Yep. So this is awesome, and hopefully this is so big. I hope everyone goes over this. Just really quickly before I start, because when I was leaving the church, one of the biggest things I had is we had an education on Shincheonji. We learned more about the history of the Shincheonji church than we did our own church. And
Yep.
they even when I went to Korea, everything they really would not explain anything to me. It was very vague, but even though sometimes I disagree with C.W. Kim, I think he's doing the best he can, you know what I mean, with where he's at. But I'm just happy he revealed this and he's actually allowing us to read it. So I'll begin. March 17th, 1962, 23 people, including An Sung Hong, were excommunicated from the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And on March 24th of 1962, 23 people, including An Sung Hong, announced their withdrawal from the Seventh-day Adventist Church and held their first Sabbath service at Chung Yong Kim's house inIldong, Busan.
And that's the picture right there.
Yeah, you can see little An Sung Hong. Put your little mouse there.
Right over
There he
here.
is. Look at that young guy.
Look at little young on Sun Hong, man.
Little young
Look,
An right there.
oh young on, man. Look at him. Looking like a young Jet Li, man.
Looking like, man, it's poor right now in Korea, but I promise you, I'm starting my own cult and I'm gonna make bank.
Rags to riches, right? Rags to riches.
He's like, I'm looking good as a young feller, and I'm gonna get them all. So it says under the
Yes.
photo. So this photo was the day of resurrection, commemorative photo, at Chung Yong Kim's house in 1962. So continuing, in April 25th of 1964. In Gwangan-dong, Senggyeonggu, Busan, about 10 people, including Elder Ki Gol-song, were baptized in the sea in front of Gwangan-dong and joined the Passover. From Shuncheonshi, Jeolnam-do, 8 people, including Elder Jung Pil-cho, were baptized together and joined the Passover. Church of God was launched by their celebrating the second Passover, the 14th day of the second month upon the sacred calendar. Yeah, so here we can see their baptism. Yeah, the first baptism list compiled in April 1964. Suin wasn't in this one, I don't think, right?
No,
Not in this
nope,
one yet. Yeah, right.
not in this one.
Okay. Okay. Here we go. So commemorative photo at the beach in front of Guangandong in 1964 after the baptisms is
And
on.
here's some. Look at him, man. He's
Isn't
got his.
Yep. Isn't the person right behind him the actual like first pastor of the church?
Yeah,
The
so
main leader, I think.
this would be the main leader who the General Assembly had actually chose to
Hmm.
lead the original church, even over on San Hong. And
Yeah,
this is
so
why you see him even in the picture, like behind him, you can just tell that he's in like subjection. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
and he's very he's very young. When I explain photos like this to the members when they reach out, it's like you could tell he's not the leader in this picture, right? Just body
Yep.
language. But when you look at his face, he doesn't look mad, he doesn't look
Mm-mm.
upset, he doesn't look like, man, I no, he's okay. He's okay. That's
Yep.
because what people, the again, World Mission Society Church of God members, the story that was told to you is not accurate. An San Hong did not proclaim himself to be Christ, in the
Correct.
beginning. He was just fine being under this man. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'll
Yeah.
let you continue, Mitch.
Yeah, I like how you said that because it's like he just revealed some truth. It wasn't that he was second coming Christ. They kind of looked at him at this time as like a teacher. Like God did give him a vision. They believed at this time An Sang was given a vision by God and he did reveal some truth, but he still wasn't even the leader at that time of the church. He was just kind of, yeah, An Sang gave us some profound words of Jesus. So under this photo right here, the Church of God, Jesus Witnesses in Suncheon, Elder Jung Pil Cho in 1966, the Church of God, Jesus Witnesses in Suncheon. So you can even see the middle guy, right? The middle guy is the
Yep.
actual leader.
Yep. Same guy. Same guy
Yep.
that was up here. And these are in chronological order. So I mean, if you look at An San Hong here in comparison to what we saw in the beginning, look at the difference in age, right? And so you see the progression of the church as the photos are going by. And now you see he is just, these two right here, but you can tell this guy's still in command, right? Now,
Yep.
go ahead, Mitch.
April 16th, 1965, in Pangkongshi, Yangon Sukbuk Do, 10 people, including Unsu Lee, joined the church, and Pohang Church was established. And you can actually see the current pastor of Church of God Jesus Witnesses in this
Yep,
photo.
right there.
Young man. There's good
Yes,
old
sir.
An Sung Kong in the right hand corner. Young
Yep.
man. Man, I wish we had a time machine. And hopefully, Edgar, we live long enough to where time machines finally come out and we can go back. And
That
just,
would be
y-
crazy, man.
I think it would actually be cool. I would really love to go back to Korea in that time and actually talk. What were you thinking on Sung Hong? Back to 1985. That would be the spot I land.
1985.
Okay. 1980, I think 1985, like if I only had one chance. If
Yeah.
I know it sounds crazy, but if I ever had to go back in history to one date and I could only go back to one date and come back, I think it would be 19, I want to say 1984 to 1985 through 1985 because I really want to see what actually happened.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really do.
That'd be good.
Where would
I
you
don't
go,
know
Edgar?
where.
I know it's a little off course, but where would you go if you had one place to go back in time
Yeah. So to me,
in history?
like I feel like 1984, 1985. I think everybody's gonna want to pick that one because that's like at the end. That's where you're gonna find out like what was his last wish. So I feel like if it depends if I was the only one that that was able to go back and then extract that for myself, then yeah, it'd be same as you. But if I knew that you were going to go back and others could go back at different points and then come back and relay the
Then come back
information.
hey, then go back 2,000 years ago because I
No,
want
no.
somebody to
Well,
confirm that resurrection for me.
see, if we're talking about Ansan Hong though, I would be
Yeah.
curious to see 1962, right, when he
Mm,
gets kicked out of Seventh Day Adventist Church, and he's actually like starting to build this plan. Uh, of starting this church. I want to understand where his mind is at. What was his intentions
yeah.
really to like start this? Because I feel like something happened along the way. Like his motives might have been pure at the beginning. Even his own people in Korea said the same thing, that they saw a difference in him in the beginning. It was like very genuine, and then towards the end, it's like corruption got him, sin got him. And so I just wanted to see like what was his mindset or his vision, for the church, because I highly doubt he envisioned what is happening now. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? So yeah,
So
I guess I.
what we can do, hey, I'm sorry to still be on this topic. What we can do is we'll have Edgar, you'll go back to 1962 and all that when he left. Adam will send him 1978 to 1983 when the Umsu stuff was happening. I'll be there at his death. We'll send Great Light Studios in the time period in between. Maybe we
There
could,
you go.
if we ever make a lot of money, let's make a documentary. Let's make a movie on that. Us getting
That'd be
sent
fun.
back in time to meet him. Anyways, under this photo it says, first from the left, Pastor Dong Hyung Lee, which is the current pastor of actually the actual original Church of An Sang Hong, Church of God Jesus Witnesses. Third, third Elder Un Su Lee, original name Suk Gun Lee. Dong Hyung Lee is the chairman of the Church of God Jesus Witnesses since July 2016. Okay, that guy on the very far left. June 2nd, 1968. In Jinju-shi, Gyeongsang Nam-do, 7 people, including Elder Jun Song Lee, joined church, and Jinju Church was established. And the photo of this person, it says a recent photo of evangelist Su Nam Chu, who was baptized in 1968 together with Elder Jong Song Lee. So
Yeah.
I think this was one of the original members, right?
Yep.
Yep.
She
And
she knew
March,
Zhang Gyoja herself.
oh yeah, March 31st of 1969. In Pyeonggi-up, Yong-ji uh, Gyeongsang-bok-do, 6 people, including Elder Songbong Shin, joined the church, and Pyeonggi Church was established. April 6, 1969. In Gimhae-shi, Gyeongsangnam-do, Sun Dong-lee joined the church, and Gimhae Church was established. August 8th, 1969. In Bongwa-gun, Gongsangbuk-do, Songdok-sim, and
I feel bad for you, Mitch.
Ongpo-go. It's okay, I can kind of pronounce them. So, but joined the church, and Bongwa Church was established. In March 5th, 1972, in Seoul, 15 people, including Jung Hwae Koo, joined the church, and Seoul Church was established. In July 4th of 1972, in Jungdo-gun, Jeolnam-do, 16 people, including missionary Jong Lee, joined the church, and Jindo Church was established. Around the mid 1970s, 9 branch churches were established, and the number of the saints increased to about 200. Man, we got more subscribers on YouTube than they have members in the church. Shoot.
Facts.
I love this photo, and maybe you can explain the actual,
Yeah.
you know, misinterpretation the church uses for this. March 1972, the Passover, Uncheon Church, Elder Young Ho Chun's house.
Yes.
That
So
was in his
the
house.
the World Mission Society will show you a propaganda video of when the World Mission Society Church of God was supposedly established, and they show this picture, but this picture is cropped out, so you only see, if you watch my mouse, they'll probably show you like this, maybe the front row, right?
To
And
make it
they'll
look like there's
say,
less members.
yeah, and then it'll be like, this is the establishment of the Church of God. But notice on San
1964.
Hong, notice the difference of the establishment of the church according to World Mission Society. Look at An San Hong. That hairline is already receded to the back of his neck. Now
Man, I
look
wish
at
I
the
was in there right now. I wish I was there. I know it sounds crazy because we were in a cult and it was his cult, but I can't even call it the same cult. But I have dreams sometimes like, man, what would it be like? You know what I mean? I really time travel, please come soon.
so
Anyways,
so check this out. This is according to World Mission Society 1964, the establishment of the church, right? When in reality this is 1972. You could tell by the age on. But look at the difference, right? So if you want to talk about establishment of the church, this would actually be the closest thing to it. And look at the difference in age. So it begs the question, next time they show you that propaganda video, why don't you ask them, isn't this the establishment of the church? And why don't you guys have pictures of An San Hong when he's like under 40, right? It's because the World Mission Society doesn't have access to this. Well, now they're going to, but before they didn't, because they're not the original church. But
yeah.
anyway,
Remember, according to the WMSCOG, An Sung Hong lived in a shed, and they never talked about his family. They couldn't even fit his family of what, another four, including himself, in that
yeah.
little shed that caught on fire in Busan. Anyways, so same church here in that photo. It's just like another view of it. In March 1972, the Passover, Unchon Church, Elder Yang Ho Chun's house. So same house,
Yeah.
same. You can kind of see how big the congregation is now from kind
And
of the pulpit area.
and which is crazy because again they only show you this part, like Mitch said, to make it look like there's no one really there, but when you
And they have it cropped
expand
in
you
more.
yeah, you see
The
like the
Whimsicog has it
front.
cropped in even more. Yeah.
You see the whole front. This is definitely not the establishment of anything. This is already a church that's alive and kicking. And then there's even back shots of the same event. It's like, does this look to you like a establishment of a church? Like, there's just, the
I just
lies
think
just get worse and worse,
it's just
man.
so upsetting that they didn't separate the males and females, but we'll continue.
Yeah, there you go. And then notice what it says: March 1972, the Passover Unchun Church, Elder Young Ho Chun's house. Right? So it's like, are you gonna tell this guy that this ain't his house? That this was the establishment of the church? They got like, come on, guys, come on, give it up.
Come on.
Give it up, World Mission Society. The gig is up. All right, go
All
ahead,
right.
Mitch.
All right. So here, April 3rd, 1973, the first countrywide elders General Assembly meeting was held at Elder Young Ho Chun's house in Uncheon Church. The participants from the Ochon Church, An Sung Hong and Young Ho Chun, the Gwanan Church, Hyanguk Nun, Suin, right here, by the way, boom boom, Suin, Sok Cho Lee, Pohang Church, Gokja Park, Unsuli, Pungi Church, Songbong Shin, Yo Yang Yun, Seoul Church, Sangun Lee, and Taewa Nam. And what was decided at this meeting, this like first General Assembly, we can say in 1973, was that the chairman, now it's going to be, the chairman will now be An Sang Hong. The vice chairman will be Jung Pil Cho and also Young Ho Chun. The general officer will be Son Dong Lee and the account manager Hyung Guk No. Secretary will be Tae Sun Woo and Young Soon Chun. And in March 24th of 1974, at the second countrywide Elders General Assembly meeting, this one was held at Elder Young Ho Chun's house. So on same house. The second one was held at the same house church that you just saw in that photo. And the participants in this one were the Onchon Church, which was of An Sung Hong, Young Ho Chon, and Tae Sa Wo. And the Gwangan Church, Hyang Guk Nol, Amsuin, Sokcholi, in the Pohang Church, Gukjat Park, in the Pangi Church, Songbang Shin, Yoyoung Yun, in the Seoul Church, Sangyol Ru, Jae-hoon Kim, and Sang-gun Lee. And then let's see what was decided on this, the second General Assembly meeting. The chairman now is who? Jung Pil
Young Pil
Cho.
Cho.
The vice, yeah, now it changes again. The vice chairman will be Young Ho Chun. The general officer Tae Sun Woo. The account manager Hyung Guk No, and secretary Tae Hwa Nan. And I love this second photo. There's so many interesting characters in this photo. So the commemorative photo at Young Ko Chun's house, left after the General Assembly meeting in 1974, the Church of God Jesus Witnesses. So if you want to, there's some important characters here in this photo.
Yes, sir. So again, this is the commemorative photo right after the General Assembly meeting in 1974. You have An San Hong right here, who's clearly, you could, again, this is why I say it doesn't tell you directly, but you can just tell who's right there in the middle, who looks, look at the how he's postured, like the body language. He's the leader, the way they're all around him. Now watch. If you look at this picture, look at next to him. Who do you see? You see the same guy that we just saw previously that used to be the leader, that An San Hong used
Mhm.
to sit under. Now he's on the side, and An San Hong has taken the reins, right? And you could tell he's ready to lead now. He looks more mature, and the other guy's looking a lot older, right? So this is this natural progression, right? Now, but that's not even the most amazing part of this picture. The most amazing part of the picture is two other individuals that are in this picture. One that you were made to believe is just some random lady, right? That just broke in a father's bag, which is Suin, which is right here at the very top, second to the last, right on the left. So they tell you this lady was, nothing special. She just, happens to broke into father's bag, stole his notes or whatever. They don't tell you she was part of the General Assembly. She was there. She had actually a big role in the church and actually had a lot to do with the doctrine that ended up becoming some of the pillars of World Mission Society theology. So that's Suin. And then the literally my favorite part is you see above An San Hong's left shoulder this Abercrombie and Fitch looking model guy,
I
right?
mean,
This is actually
he good looking. I mean, back in the day, man, I don't know
yeah.
what Zong
So
was thinking. He's a good looking guy.
so it's like yeah, Zhang Yojia, I don't know.
That
She
turtleneck.
only one staying
That's what
fly,
got her.
man. So yeah, that's what got her. So yeah, old turtleneck right here behind An San Hong. That's actually Zhang Ja's ex-husband. What is he doing in this picture next to An San Hong? Man, this seems more like a Mari, a picture that would be shown in Mari or Jerry Springer show. Like man, this guy had an affair with his his disciple's wife. Like
Yeah,
this
dude.
this
I
is
feel so
crazy,
bad for
man.
that guy. I feel so
I
bad for that guy. I don't know the
so
full
bad,
story, but I don't know the
so
full
bad,
story.
man.
I don't think any of us will ever know, but from what it sounds like, I feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, man. And we've heard stuff. We've talked about it before. Like again, you guys can do your own research, but we heard there was definitely foul play. An San Hong, was not just the man, but apparently he was quite a ladies' man as well, and there was a lot of foul play and let's just say that there's a lot of talk about adultery going on and fornication within the church, and this is coming from the people. And keep in mind, these people, these leaders of the church in Korea, these disciples of An San Hong who revere him, have no reason to lie about something that would only make their church look bad. But the reason that they say it is because they're interested in truth. right? And so it really, by making, by sharing the truth about An San Hong, it actually reveals Zhang Gyoja's character also, and
Yep.
how she was doing things behind her husband's back, allegedly. Anyway, that being said, let's continue. uh right.
Outdoor program. So this photo, it says the outdoor program of the Day of Ascension in May 8th, 1975. The joint service on Uncheon in Gwanan Church at the mountain behind Busan National University. In late 1970s, Busan Headquarters Church was relocated to the Western Style House location in Uchon Village, Uldong and Hondaegu, Busan, which is right here, this photo. So
Yeah.
recent view. So this is like modern view. So like if you kind of went there maybe nowadays, this is kind of what it would look like at that time, the Oncheon Church. And then we can see Ansang Hong outside of it, next to the fig tree. The Oncheon Church in the 1970s, Ansang Hong standing in front of a fig tree. Because you know
Yeah,
why.
he's
You
got
know why.
a he's got a, all I can say is he's kind of looking like Wolverine in this picture with his haircut. You can definitely tell that some years have gone by and his hairline is receding a little bit, but nonetheless, he's got to take the photo op, with the fig tree, because why not, and how convenient to plant a fig tree outside the church, you know what I mean?
Yep. It's
But
funny.
go ahead.
It's funny because I realize with North Korea and also South Korea, they try to use symbology to to prove their points. So in North Korea, Kim Jong-un is riding on the white horse. Maybe you've seen that photo. And
Uh,
even
no, I
later,
haven't seen
An
it.
Sung-hong he's sitting on a white horse. There's a photo of An
Uh,
Sung-hong on a white horse as well. It's
I've seen that
very
one.
similar, symbolic, right? Because he's a rider on the white horse, and he's also standing next to the fig tree, trying to be
And,
symbolic and stuff.
and to the WMSCOG members that might be watching this and they're like, but he's taking a picture to the fig tree. He knows what he's doing. So if I go take a picture with the fig tree, or the Pope goes and takes a picture with the fig tree, or David Koresh, or the Puerto Rican Jesus, that what was his name, David Miranda, or you know what I mean, all these, the Siberian Jesus, like, so if they do all these things, that also makes them Jesus.
Yeah,
That's
makes
not how
sense.
it
Yeah.
works. That's not how it
Oh,
works, and
that's why I got
but
sucked into the
may
cult.
I point out though, what happened to the notion of the one suit theory? Because this is not the one suit they showed me in that video. This suit, man, this suit looks pretty fancy if you ask me,
It's
man.
nice. Nicer than
It's
mine.
nice.
Fits better than my suit did. So April 1981, the Ulsan Church was established. 1981 on the 4th of whatever date that was. Hur.
Yeah.
Gwangju Church was established. 1981. Sungnam Church was established. 1981. Also, Tonggu Church was established. And in 1982, the Busan headquarter church was relocated to Gwanggandong, Songgyo-gu, Busan, which is in this photo. And there's a good video about this. If people actually go on like these the Korean blogs, they're out there. There's like a video that kind of like shows outside of the church and all that. It's pretty cool. February 1985, church founder An Sang-hong, what happens? Not ascended, he passed away.
Nope.
In April of 1985, the Seoul Church branches off from the Busan headquarter church and changed their church name as Church of God An Sang-hong Witnesses. The Seoul Church changed their official church name as the World Mission Society Church of Fraud in 1997. Sorry, Church of God.
I see what you
Tongue
did
twister.
there.
Sorry, the tongue twister on that one. April 1992. Elder Tae So Park left Busan Headquarter Church and founded the New Covenant Passover Church of God, NCPOG, in Ulsan, insisting on calculating the sacred calendar based on the full moon. In early 2000, Ang Kwang-suk, the son of An Sang-hong, joined the New Covenant Passover Church of God, established a branch congregation in Seoul around 2007. However, he introduced doctrinal changes within the New Covenant Passover Church of God, asserting that his father An Sang-hong was second coming Christ, This doctrinal shift led to his separation from Elder Park Tae-soo of Ulsan and the formation of an independent church. I have something to say on this. I found out recently. I know we talk about, all the branches now. We got the Church of God Jesus Witnesses, New Covenant Passover Church of God, World Mission Side Church of God, now New Jerusalem Church of God for Daniel Park.
Yeah.
But actually, what a lot of people don't know is if you go online and you type in New Covenant Passover Church of God, there's different websites under New Covenant Passover Church of God because they've actually split in two. There's two different churches. They're both failing terribly right now. But actually, there's a split off in between their own church too, New Covenant Passover Church of God. Many people don't know about. So it's actually another split off. So if you had to count it on one hand, it's how many with that six split offs now? Church of God
Wow.
Jesus Witnesses, New Jerusalem, Ansan Kong, Daniel. No, five. We got five. Soon to be more.
So
Okay.
so wait, because there's witnesses of Jesus, Church
Yep.
of God, right? Church of God, Jesus Witnesses. Then there's
New Covenant.
New Covenant Passover Church of God. You have World Mission Society Church of
Yep.
God. You have the other New Covenant Passover Church of God,
And the
and you
other
have
New
Daniel
Covenant.
Park.
Yeah. And the
Yeah,
Daniel Park. Yeah. So yeah. Soon to be more. I have a feel. I have a pretty good feeling about that. July 9th, 2001, the Busan headquarter church was relocated to Nangdan 203 554 Songgyangro, Songgyanggu, Busan, in the name of Pastor Wang Kwang Wu. Ooh, that's a name. I haven't even seen that. Wang Kwang Wu, who was appointed as the president. Okay, there it is. Oh, look at him, C.W. Kim, and
look
then
at
also,
CW.
yeah, Pastor Wang Kwang Wu. I actually got to talk to the guy, dude, on the phone with C.W. Kim.
Yeah,
He's
cool guy.
he's cool, yeah. Yeah, this was photo taken 2014, January 1st of 2015. The establishment of the Seoul area. So now they're kind of getting into the original church, just to, for some back knowledge
Yeah,
for people. Now they're talking. So this church, the Church of God Jesus Witnesses, it kind of roughly continued somehow throughout the history. But it really started picking up again in the 2000s. So in January 1st, 2015, establishment of the Seoul area church by Elder Chung Wook Kim in the third floor. We'll just continue. I don't need to read all
and
that Korean. You guys don't care.
let's give him his flowers, man. He's helped this movement out a lot.
For sure.
COGJW wasn't doing anything until CW Kim
For sure. For
came on
sure.
the scene, man.
They need to make that guy a pastor.
Yeah, 2014 he leaves the WMSCOG, joins the COGJW, and he takes what the WMSCOG taught him and just hits them in the jaw, hits them where
Kind of
it
like
hurts, and now
Shinshanji infiltrates World Mission and then also steals from them to increase their church.
yeah. So now he's running rampant, and he's going all over the world and establishing, the churches, man, and
Africa, Nepal. Nice guy
yeah,
though. Nice guy for sure.
really nice guy, man. Solid guy. And if anybody wants to get put in contact with him, like I said in my last video, hit me up. Like I said, at this point, it's just time. Like I don't. To me, the WMS needs to fall like this year. Like it's time to air them all the way out. We're not
It's a
we're
year
not
of
holding
reckoning.
nothing back. Yeah, it's the
Nothing
year of
back.
reckoning, man. It's the year of reckoning.
July 6th, 2016, Pastor Dong Hyung Lee, who's like the main pastor of the church. Remember the old photo of them by the sea in the military uniforms? He was the guy on the left. Very young
Yep.
guy next to Sun Kong. So Pastor Dong Hyung Lee was inaugurated as the president of the General Assembly, succeeding Pastor Wang Kwang Wu, who you saw in the earlier photo with C.W. Kim. The Church of God Jesus Witnesses reconfirmed as the official name of the Busan headquarter church. And there is Pastor Dong Hyung Lee, the current president of the Church of God Jesus Witnesses. Very old man, very nice, very earnest. He's still alive.
Man, kind of say I love his taste of style, man, because
Heck
I
yeah.
used to I used to rock a shirt just like that, like exactly like that in high school though, but I used to wear mine with khakis. But anyway,
They
continue,
used to say
Mitch.
purple is mother's favorite color. That's what I
There
heard.
you go.
Yeah. July 26, 2016, Busan Headquarter Church, Pastor Dong Hyung Lee was relocated to the second floor in Busan. Yeah, I don't even need to read all that. September 1st, 2017, establishment. I can't wait until we get to the bottom part of this because I got something to tell you. You've seen it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
L.A.
Yeah. So this September 1st, 2017, establishment of Gunson Area Church, Elder Tae Dong An. He was like the leader there. Okay. So you can see their photo. November 20th, 2017, the Seoul Area Church. This one's operated by C.W. Kim, Elder C.W. Kim, who we were talking about. And I'm not even going to get into the rest, but yeah, he's the leader of Seoul. So you can see their picture there. January 15th, 2018, Busan Headquarter Church, led by Pastor Dong Hyung Lee. So this is their group and members there. And February 20th in Nepal, 21 people were baptized in Bertamod Church, was established in Bertamod, Nepal. I don't know if I said that right, but anyways, March 21st in South Sudan, man, dangerous area. South Sudan, 53 people were baptized in Ramongoth Church, was established in Awil city in Sudan. Probably said that wrong. Anyways, there he is, C.W. Kim, old man. He heading out into the
CW.
hot desert. And he's on a mission, man.
He's on a
Finding the
mission,
hundred,
bro.
finding the 144,000. Shoot. All right, October 20th, 2021, Seoul Area Church, Elder Kim. Boom. So they relocated, right? So that's the Seoul's church now with C.W. Kim. February 2022 in Kenya, 36 people were baptized in Gechakai Church, Elder Etebe. So they have an elder in Kenya.
Kenya.
They have some elder. Yep. They got another elder. There they are. There's C.W. Kim. Look at him. Look at
Look
him like
at him, man.
apostle, like John. He's like John out there, like with the Ethiopian. Just there's a pile of water.
Yep.
Baptize me there. Yep.
Get those
There he is.
things.
Look at him in the mud hut, right? They're
There you
at
go.
mud hut. December 2023 in Kenya, 6 people were baptized in Karina Church. Deacon Stephen and Omari was established, so they established a church. They have a deacon and a deaconess there. Yeah, mud hut. There they are. Heck yeah.
CW. That
W.
that
Boom
that
boom.
man, that I'm gonna have to teach him a little bit, maybe make that tie a little bit longer, but hey, but
Yeah.
CW is
It comes
cool,
in
man.
time, you know what I mean? Like these young bucks, they don't know how to tie their tie yet, so we can teach them later.
There you go.
January 24th, the house church was established in Pacadina, I don't even know, city in the Philippines, right? So there's
Yeah.
C.W. Kim studying. January 2024, house church, here's where it gets funny, established in Sao Paulo, Brazil. April 2024, house church established in New York City. Okay. January 20th, house church established in Houston, Missouri, Georgia. August 2025, a house church established in Vietnam, some part of Vietnam, back in Nam. January 2026, the house church was established in California. Oh, he changed it. Shooted it. Colorado.
Really? The
I'm
Colorado.
not. I'm not even gonna say anything. Whatever. Edgar knows. Edgar.
I know. I know, man. Let's just say, again, I got
Whatever.
nothing
Whatever
bad
makes
to
the guy.
say.
Whatever makes the guy happy. As long as the world mission thinks thinks that way,
Facts.
then all right.
And I just want to say, like, in all seriousness, like, I think we had a lot of fun, and it was, I'm glad we are able to share this information with others. But man, CW Kim's a cool dude, man. He's a
Good
cool
guy.
dude,
He
bro.
really
I
is.
got I got
Honest. Pure
nothing
heart.
bad to say about him, man. Like he believes in what he believes, and
Yep.
he's down for the cause, and I'm just glad that he's helping, ex members. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
and yeah, I'm just, I'm very thankful for him, man. And,
He has a pure
all,
heart, man.
yeah,
He's
for
trying to
sure.
do what he thinks, even though like maybe some disagreements, a little on doctrine and stuff, but he has a pure heart. He's trying to do the right thing, what he thinks is right. And I mean, they're not controlling people. They're
Yeah.
not forcing them to do things. They're not trying to lie. They're just trying to do the best they can. They'll even admit An Sung Kong, it's not the second coming Christ. He's trying to do the right thing. I'm not telling everybody go join Church of God Jesus Witnesses Church or anything like that. I'm not saying that. It's just like we're just saying as a person, he's a good guy. He's just trying to do
Yeah.
what he thinks is right, and he's trying to be honest about it. All right, and
Way,
that's kind
and
of
I will
all
say this, way more trustworthy than the World Mission Society.
for sure, for
Because
sure.
this dude, he'll give it to you straight. He'll be like, look, Ansan Hong messed up. Ansan Hong lied about
Yep.
that. He got
He
this
went to
wrong.
the
He did.
he went to the
Yeah.
Jehovah Witnesses to find out when
Yeah.
to keep the Passover. They'll
Yeah.
tell you that. Yeah.
But that, to me, instead of making him not credible, it makes him that much more credible because he's not willing to, to lie in order to convince you. He's just throwing it all out there. Now, obviously, doctrinally wise, that's where, me and him, is kind of like, okay, bro, you believe what you believe, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, when it comes to like the pure information coming from Korea and all the elders down there that witnessed it, that walked with An San Ho, that knew An San Ho, like all that is very reliable information. So I
Definitely.
will post a link to that, and I hope that everybody can have a chance to check that out, and share it with members, share it with World Mission Society. You know what I mean? Like air them out, guys. This
Yeah.
is the year. This is it. This is it, man. Like we got them on the ropes. Don't let them off the hook. Mitch, man, I'm very proud of you, bro. You putting in that work, man. Love that interview with Anthony, bro. And I've seen also you got a video that came out on Cultish. So I haven't had a chance to check that out, but I'm gonna check that out. And I see you got a lot of things you're working on, man. So kudos to you, to all the audience out
Yeah,
there, man.
kudos
Go
to you as
support
well,
Mitch.
man. And yeah, go. Well, I mean, if they're watching this, they're probably go like and subscribe to Egger, all right, guys. But yeah, I mean, no thanks. I mean, guys, like to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't be here without like when I was doubting without people like Grey Light Studios or what Egger was doing in Adam. I mean, they they're like foundational people for me, like leaving. And I didn't just believe them at first, right? And you shouldn't either. Do your
Yeah, yeah,
research, make sure check the facts, and make sure we're not lying to you and stuff like that. But I'm so happy to be on Egger, and I'm just kind of making this my cause now. You know what I mean? I really
yeah,
want just like you, just like Egger. I'm just doing the best I can just to raise awareness, just to get the word out there. I mean, the more we speak on other channels like Cultish, the one I did, it's just um, it helps gets the word out there so more people will be informed about this church. And it's not even like I'm saying, hey, if you want to believe in a God the Mother and An Sung Kong, we live in America, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, go ahead, right?
yeah,
I just want people to have all the information
yeah,
before so they can make an informed decision. And the World Mission does not give you that opinion. But I'm hoping now people can actually get a good informed decision before they join the church, and maybe
yeah.
the members that are in they can actually hear the truth now. So thank you for obviously having me on, Edgar. I always love jumping on with you and try to give some words while I'm on it, but I just want to always support every channel as much as I can, just because you guys are awesome. So
Appreciate you, man. I love what you're doing, bro. And I appreciate all the audience also watching. I appreciate Adam
heck
coming
yeah.
on here, and kudos to him as well, taking care of business. And shame on the WMSCOG for, trying to flag his content. Then all that does is
Yeah,
show your insecurities. Like it shows that
weird. Why that
yeah,
video? Why that
ex-
video? Like of all
yeah.
the videos, like
They're
I
just
don't
at
know,
this
dude.
point they're just being petty. They're just you know they're just ready to attack because they don't know what to do. We got them scrambling, and so
Yep,
hopefully this is an encouragement for everybody that's watching that the power is on. If you guys don't watch our content, then we're nothing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And so we appreciate you guys checking it out.
for
But
sure.
even more than that, I honestly don't care about my channel. Like Adam was saying in the beginning, go and start your own channel, go and do your own thing, or go either do an interview, do your own interview, get on social media, go put some billboards out, some flyers outside your local university, outside the World Mission Society on a street, sign, email your local government officials, you know what I mean, mayor, like whatever you can do, just do it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that is what the World Mission Society Church of God is scared of. That is what
Exactly.
they're terrified of. And that is what we're seeing more and more of. So it's really cool to see that. And just to be part of this whole thing is pretty cool, pretty sobering. But that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed another episode of the Smoke Room. And until next time, we'll catch you guys later. Peace.